will continue from where we stopped. I now give the floor to the member for Combo East.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I must first start to commend the Vice President for his presence and the other cabinet ministers. Honorable Speaker, I must start my deliberations by reminding the Honorable House today and all ministers and the Vice President here present on the conclusion remark of the President, getting into the paragraph 6 of the conclusory remarks, the last two sentences that the President stated, saying, notwithstanding the critical factors that threatens peace and development, most is disunity. As I always observe, we may belong to different political parties, religious faith, or other social groupings, but we must unite as a nation to realize our national target. This is a very powerful statement given by the President on his last speech. I'm reminding this Honorable House, it is not just a story to give to people to clap, but it's a very strong reminder as statesmen and women. We are seeing this thing to be very beautiful, to be very digestive, but it has a meaning. And this meaning we need to be very frank to ourselves by looking into our inner attitudes in trying to change what it takes. Yes, it is very important to be a politician, but as politicians, we owe this to our people to unite them. This is a house that everyone is paying attention to, irrespective of who you are, where you are, as long as you are within the territories of this country. The National Assembly is a point to concern. As elected members and nominated members in this house, we are entrusted to work harmoniously and forget about our differences to work for the best interests of our country. Let's always remember to know we are missing out our opportunities for the single reason of being disunited, and we have to be very fair and sincere to ourselves first, then we consider the people that sent us in this assembly. As each and every one of us is occupying a seat representing people, we should put our political sentiments and our individual egos out of this house, and we try to consider how Gambia should be grown. Honorable Speaker, the conclusory remarks has stated that Gambians have the mind and they are intelligent enough to get themselves united, because the statement has given it all well for people to digest. But why are we not united? Why are we not allowing ourselves to be united? We are joking and we are cheating ourselves. And this is upon every one of us. When our individual interest arises, we forget about the unity of this country, and no one works without the other. It has been stated in this. We have to be very fair and sincere and be God-fearing people to make sure we walk by these statements. We make sure we adhere to these statements. Before getting into my own observations in the speeches that the President has given on other key ministries, Honorable Speaker, I may not do justice without making emphasis of this statement that Gambians should forget about our individual differences. Let advisors be advisors, let the executive remain to be the executive, and the judiciary be the judiciary, and then the legislatures do their duties as legislatures. I may commend the judiciary as one arm of the government who are apolitical, looking despite challenges that they are facing, but I'm seeing the judiciary playing a fair role in their day-to-day affairs, in their day-to-day administration of their own arm of government. Where are we? The executive and the legislatures. We tend to be so political in trying to execute our own daily functions. We have to be very matured enough to graduate from that and then work on to the best interests of our countries. First, we have to be nationalist and we have to be patriotic. We have to work for the best interests of this country. We are being paid from the taxpayers' money. We have to be honest. We have to be fair. Honorable Speaker, getting deep into the statements of the President, I must start with the Ministry of Finance. As it states on page 6 of 57, 2, it states the Finance and Economic Affairs. It has been well stated that the Ministry of Finance and Economic Affairs had made some great achievements. In the area of growth and then the constraints that they had in the revenue mobilization in order to realize our expenditures. Honorable Speaker, it has to be very fair enough to ourselves as representatives that yes, we were here in the last quarter of 2022 scrutinizing the budget and getting into approval, which started in January 1, 2023. Honorable Speaker, I've noticed that much of the statements that have been given here, there are so many things left behind. And we need to be very fair and sincere. If we want to work as a nation, we have to be very realistic. We have to be very truthful, and we have to be very willing. Make sure that we know, we identify our problems, we sit together as a nation, we work it over. It is no shame to declare your shortfalls. It is no shame to rectify yourself and work ahead for a better country. Honorable Speaker, I may suggest the Ministry of Finance to look into the financial subsector of this country. We've seen the central bank being the banker's bank, and we've seen the registration of so many commercial banks in the system. They are here to trade financially. They are here to support the private sector, both the government and the private sector. But we are registering very little progress from that end of the economy to serve the interests of the people, to help small enterprises grow, to help small businesses grow. And they have been giving a leverage to live and then be receiving every payment that works within the economy to be routed through this commercial banking system. With prices, with fees, with income, which also help them to make more profit. But how much of that profit is getting back to the people that are growing it needs to be checked. Businesses are here struggling to trade outside to bring in business, to bring in goods and services for the people of the Gambia. But they are constrained with banking instruments that will help them get in business and bring competition to lower down prices. But yet still these banks are allowed to stay, be trading, allowed to give loans in a very exorbitant mood, allow them to create any kind of income that they may make to maximize their profit to the expense of the vulnerable people of Gambians. And these Gambians are the people that are depending on this, contributing to the socio-economic development of this country. They are the very people that are depending on these prices. I think the ministry should work into this to check on possible means to bring these stakeholders together to sit and then dialogue about the success of this country. Honorable Speaker, we've just concluded a tour in China, like my honorable colleague has just stated here. We've been to China. We've seen how China grown. In 40 years, they were able to be who they are. But are we close to that? We are not. And the financial sectors are the key sectors that we are supporting China to grow, to be who they are. Few ministries were the contributors of that elevation that China had today to be named as the second biggest economy in the world. But are we on the same footing? We are not. Because if you check into our individual, commonly our individual attitudes, there are so many things that are lacking. I am tasking the Ministry of Finance and this Honorable House to make sure we come up with legislatures that will help the financial subsector to participate and contribute into the growth of our economy. If not, we are just working for these financial institutions to grow in the expense of the ordinary people. Getting into the Ministry of Trade, the Trade Industry, Regional Integration and Employment. It has been stated that there is a new bill that has come into effect, which we have just concluded the third reading of the 2023 Labour Bill that has been, which has been a great success and a great achievement from both the executive and this House. But I hope that bill, the content of that bill is being executed at its fullest to make sure that it reaches out to the least Gambian that is about to be covered by that same bill. We all understand employment opportunities sometimes are of choice. Yes, we know. But once you enter a contract with an employer, you ended up being a vulnerable person. You ended up being dancing to the tunes and the wishes of the people because of your lack of knowledge of what is governing you or guiding you to be employed under that circumstance. You tend to be abused. And I think this time, with this bill, the executive, the government, and this House should make sure that it is being made clear, line by line, page by page, to every Gambian that is to benefit from this bill, to make sure that you know what this labor bill, so that we Gambians will be compliant, would be of standard to the international labor laws. It is good to encourage employment opportunities, but it is also very detrimental to encourage an investor that will come in to abuse your own people. Honorable Speaker, I may not do justice if I did not get into the Ministry of Agriculture. We've been talking about within the speeches that the President has just given out. He has said that there are some lapses that are caused by the Russia-Ukraine war due to cereals that are imported from Ukraine, that is the wheat and the maize. We know the Ministry of Agriculture is here, and we've been doing our agricultural activities seasonally and then all year round. But since 2021, if I may be corrected, if I stand to be corrected, we've been singing of this Russia-Ukraine war. Anytime we sit here to discuss, we base our lapses on those effects. But is there any secondary way out through the Agricultural Ministry to make sure that those cereals we are crying off, we have an alternation to that? And this is a responsibility of the Ministry of Agriculture to come up with a plan and a strategy to lay before this House to look for a way forward. I think we have enough technocrats that are sitting within that ministry to look into these kind of things to make sure we are protected. We don't remain vulnerable to be waiting on Russia and Ukraine to enter into a truce or to enter into a peace deal, to enter into a compromise to finish that war, that we become living human beings. We rely solely on our government. And the government should also look into modalities. In the event, without the Russia-Ukraine, we should be surviving. We are human beings born in Gambia, and we should be living in Gambia, and we are citizens of Gambia. I only hope that the Russia-Ukraine war gets to an end very soon, but I am urging the ministry and the Ministry of Finance to work on modalities to come up with plans and strategies to make sure that those things are never pronounced here. It is very sad to be keeping on pronouncing this thing, the COVID-19 and the Russia-Ukraine war, all the time without any alternative. We need to talk on things that will give us a solution. We want solution. We don't need to be identified with problems that we cannot solve. We cannot end the Russia-Ukraine war. When shall we end our problems? If Gambia cannot mediate this to end that war, when shall we be ourselves? I think we should graduate from that stage to get into a level that we may even give an alternative to another thing than depending on those cereals that we would never be able to get. Honorable Speaker, getting into the lands and regional affairs. Honorable Speaker, it has been stated here that the Ministry of Land is developing a national land policy, which will be very timely. As the politics and other activities, religious differences sometimes create violence, we are also ignoring a major internal threat that we might work on to resolve. You have families that have issues on lands. They are struggling in courts. Between two boundary villages are struggling. Constituencies are having issues. Regional boundaries are having issues. National boundaries are having issues. I think this should be a robust step that the government need to take on seriously, and then make sure they task the ministry to come up with an early policy that will be set by this House for scrutiny, and then we get on to immediate laws and procedures that we will be taking to make sure that those problems that might emerge in the near future to cause problems that we cannot resolve. I think the land issues are becoming major threats of our peace and stability and our coexistence as people in this country. So it should not only end to be a statement that is to be given, but we need to see action over that thing. On that note, Honorable Speaker, I beg to take my seat. Thank you.
Thank you very much, member for Combo East. I'm not sure, Your Excellency, Mr. Vice President, members are raising very important issues touching across all sectors. And the National Assembly have notified your office for cabinet ministers and their technicians to be here to take note to help you, so that they will all be given the opportunity also to take part in the debate, and then to make your work easy, so that when you come, you will summarize. But it appears that not a single technician is with them here, and majority of the ministers are not around. It will serve as an important matter that they are here, so that when members raise issues, they can help and respond, and also those that need actions or need to be tabled in their various offices, they will do so in the interest of the nation. Thank you very much. I hope they will join us today. I now give the floor to the member for Bakau.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the floor. Honorable Speaker, I will be very brief, since speakers before me have highlighted most of the issues. So on that note, I wouldn't like to take much of our time, so I am going to be very brief. I start with the introductory remarks of the President, in which where he highlighted about his plans and setbacks and challenges of which his government has gone through. Among them, one of the setbacks is education. Honorable Speaker, I believe yearly 18,000 students sat to the senior secondary school exams. And out of these 18,000 students, 1.5 of these students are absorbed. in the tertiary institutions. 1.4 is absorbed by tertiary institutions. When 1.4 is absorbed by the tertiary institutions, what's wrong with the rest of the students that are going to be sitting down? What's the plan in place that the governments have for these students, Honorable Speaker? Having gone through the speech of the President on the Interior, the Honorable President have exposed his plans, but to my understanding and to my observation, the security levy fund charged at the airport, it's a burning issue of which the President have never mentioned anything of such. This security levy affects our tourist industry, which forced the Scandinavian tourists to cancel all their flights to the country. Honorable Speaker, tourism is a key ministry that employs, and most Gambian benefit out of tourism. In the year 2020, 2021 to 2023, compared to 2023, the tourist season is completely dead. Dead in the sense that the number of tourists that we expect in the country, we are not forthcoming because of the security levy introduced at the international airport. There is a time when we engaged the Minister of Tourism about this issue. He said the response was he is not responsible. He should engage the Interior Ministry. But there are engagements that have been done for this issue. But the response that we normally have from the authorities is they cannot do anything as at now. Honorable Speaker, when such responses are coming from a government, what type of government should we describe that government? Honorable Speaker, having said that, when we come to health, the President highlighted his achievement and his plans when it comes to health. But there was a burning issue, and yet still a burning issue when it comes to the case of Aki. Not a single word was mentioned in the President's speech concerning this Aki. Honorable members, should we take this government a serious government? We've lost 70 plus lives when it comes to Aki. Honorable Speaker, through you, I want to express my disappointment with this government for failing to take up this Aki issue seriously. We've seen other countries where one life lost, it becomes a burning issue to them. But in the case of the Gambia, it's very different. We've lost 70 plus lives, but not a single word came from the government to address that issue. Honorable Speaker, Having said that, we've heard from colleagues who are very much concerned when it comes to agriculture, the failure of agriculture in the Gambia. I'm sure you will all agree with me, agriculture as a ministry have hundreds of doctors. You name them, Dr. Saho, Dr. Dabo, Dr. Sane, hundreds of doctors. Yet still, with all those doctors, they cannot cure the problem in their ministry or in their departments. What sort of doctors are they, Honorable Speaker? Having said that, Honorable Speaker, corruption becomes open in the country. I'm sure you will all agree with me that there is a bill before this August body. Surely it will be passed before the end of this legislative year. Corruption becomes order of the day. Corruption becomes open in the country, but not a single word has been indicated in the President's speech.
Honorable Member for Bakau, I heard you name names. Please let's avoid naming people who may not be able to come and defend themselves here. We can name positions or generalize. Thank you. Proceed.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I've said corruption becomes an order of the day in the country. Not a single word has been mentioned by the President in his speech. Honorable Speaker, we have seen the economic failure in the country. A serious government will take its economy seriously rather than putting blames on Russia-Ukraine war. We've heard so many excuses when it comes to economic issues. The response is always the war in Russia-Ukraine war. Honorable Speaker, in the President's speech on the transport and works, the President indicated that funds are being secured for completion of certain projects that are ongoing. How are those funds being secured? The statement is vague. It needs to be explained how those funds are being secured, whether in loan form or in grants form. The Gambian people want to know, Honorable Speaker. Through you, I'll put those questions to the Honorable Vice President to let Gambians know of how those funds are being secured. Honorable Speaker, with those remarks, I think I would prefer taking my seat without taking much of your time. I thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Member for Bakau. I now recognize the member for Lower Badibu.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I would want to join my colleagues in welcoming the Honorable Vice President and other cabinet ministers here present. Honorable Speaker, I would want to begin my contribution on the final message of the President. The President put emphasis on national unity, and I believe unity is key to development. Even in our individual homes, unity is key. In our compounds, unity is key. It was only this morning that I proposed to some cabinet, some honorable colleagues that I would love to talk to leaders of both sides of the assembly so that we can have a closed-door meeting in order to save this country. Because the trend at which we are going is scary to me. Honorable Speaker, unity is very important. The reason why we are experiencing all these issues here and there is because there is no unity among us. This is the fact. There is no unity in this country. Politics has divided the country so much so that we don't even want to talk peace among ourselves. This is very sad. Honorable Speaker, coming to other areas which were highlighted by the President, I'll begin my deliberation on agriculture. Honorable Speaker, I'll join my honorable colleague, honorable member for Lower Salum. He mentioned that technocrats has failed the President. Honorable Speaker, if that allegation is true, I am pleased urging the President of the Republic to look into that allegation and take a firm action against those culprits in order to save our motherland, the Gambia. Honorable Speaker, every department must have a head. The head of agriculture in the Gambia here, because I will not agree with some honorable members who are alleging the entire Department of Agriculture as people who are not doing their job. For me, I am directing my dissatisfaction to the Honorable Minister of Agriculture. Honorable Speaker, the minister before this Honorable Minister, the minister before him, she used to be a very good minister. We saw how committed that lady was. I am not here to pressing anybody, but the truth is truth. Where is the agricultural minister here today? And he is in the country. Where is he? Which gathering is more important than today's gathering? Honorable colleagues, let us face the reality. Let us stop fooling our government brothers and sisters. We need to have this country at heart. If I am the president today, some of the cabinet ministers, honestly speaking, I will give them red card. Of course, I have my darlings among the ministers. If in fact, I am permitted, I will of course love to mention names, but no, I will not mention names. I am permitted. No. Okay. Honorable Speaker, the President spoke about the provision of fertilizers to the farmers, as well as mechanized farming implements. It's a very good move, provided that promise is going to be fulfilled. This is what we would love to have. I could remember last year, my own people were given donkeys. So if my people are to replace donkeys with modern farming machines, I think it's a welcoming news for us. But Honorable Speaker, I would love to ask Honorable Vice President, how soon are we going to have access to these things which are promised to Gambians by His Excellency the President? How soon? Rainy season is just at the corner. Gambians were crying of high price of fertilizer last year. And the expectation is there is going to be a reduction on the price of fertilizer this year. Yet still, we are yet to receive any news from Agriculture Ministry concerning the reduction of fertilizer. That's my nature. I'll shout. That's my nature. Maybe no Sarahules, if they don't want to hear, they can put something into their ears. Honorable Speaker, I am challenging the Honorable Minister of Agriculture to do something for our poor farmers rather than attending meetings that are not to the best interest of our agriculture. Of course, we are all politicians. We did politics before. But politics to me should be of the thing of past now because all the electoral cycle has been completed now. Let him come and tell Gambian farmers what he has for them in the pipeline. This is what we know we need from that ministry. I will not blame everybody at that ministry. We have good people at that ministry. We have people who are working at that ministry. You cannot blame everybody, in that ministry. If I am to blame somebody, because the moment this thing is rotten, the whole body is going to be rotten. I think the head has a problem. The head of that ministry. Honorable Speaker, coming to the employment, which was of course being emphasized by the President during his honor speech. The President declared that his government desired to address the plight of young people in this country. And he promised that he is going to create no less than 150,000 jobs within the space of 5 years. It's a welcoming news, if it is feasible. If it is feasible. Honorable Speaker, this is a question which is, direct to the Vice President, Honorable Vice President. Honorable Vice President, I want you to tell me ways and means of creating 150,000 jobs within the space of 5 years. When we are relying our development on loans, grants, and what else? How would I put it? Especially loans. I think it is high time for all of us to believe in ourselves. If you come to the issue of health, the President did mention that they are going to build hospitals and other health facilities around the country. It's a welcoming news. But my belief is we have structures in this country, hospitals and health centers. We have structures. Why can't we equip those structures for the immediate need of Gambians? Gambians are suffering when it comes to health, to have access to good health facility. We are suffering. Simple testing machines are not in our health, are not in our hospitals, neither health centers. It was only 3 days ago, a relative of mine was directed to Amadea Hospital for simple testing by a Serekunda hospital. Is that not a disaster? Simple testing machine. And yet still, we have big heart to say we are going to construct this, we are going to construct. Why can't we, of course, equip the already ones we have? Honorable Speaker, I think this is a trend in which the government should take, because we are faced with what? Limited resources when it comes to finance. If you are faced with limited resources when it comes to finance, you have to prioritize your things. We arrange our needs according to importance, how important they are. The issue of health is paramount in this country. Honestly speaking, if you are sick and you don't have money in this country, if you want to rely on our health sector, I don't mean private, maybe private, if you pay money, you will have no proper treatment. But government-owned, honestly, you will meet your death at that place if you don't mind. Honorable Speaker, coming to the issue of works, the President, of course, I commend the Gambian government for constructing roads, especially in the provinces. I really commend them for that. Gambian-owned. It's a welcoming idea, welcoming news. I really commend the government for that. But in his speech, the President said, the ongoing road construction from Kerewan to Njawara is almost completed, 90% completed. I went to that place. I came there day before yesterday. I don't know who must have given that information to the president. The guy who gave that information to the president must have misled the president. The reality on the ground and what was said here by the president are two different things. This is serious. I think it's high time for department heads to tell the president what is happening in this country. Because I know the president will not have time to go to all those areas. He has lieutenants at that area. The lieutenants should inform him accurately. So, Honorable Speaker, like I said before, what was said here and the reality are two, and what is on the ground are two different things. I am urging, or I appeal to the president to, of course, try and, of course, liaise with his lieutenants so that they can give him accurate information. But it comes to issues like this. On that note, I would love to take my seat here. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, member for Lower Badibu. I now give the floor to the member for Joshua.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I also join my colleagues to welcome the Vice President and also say a big thank you to the President for fulfilling the constitutional mandate on Thursday. Honorable Speaker, today is a day. Though people are complaining that we should look at the time and see to reduce it to make sure that we either go home early or we finish early. Yes, it's important. But we are brought here to talk. This is our bantaba today, so let's see what we can talk together and then at least give out something tomorrow. Honorable Speaker, let's start from the House here. Our responsibility, among our responsibilities are oversight functions. Are we doing our oversight functions right? Yes, we blame, but we also blame ourselves. If things are not right, we should make things right. We should force people to make it right. Yes, we want to send ministers to support. Will that solve the problem? No. By our oversight functions on them, and they know what they are doing is not right, then things will be right. So let's try to do our oversight functions. Or we ask our electors to come here and ask us whether we are doing our oversight functions. Honorable Speaker, coming to the Ministry of Finance, yes, Gambia imports a lot. Most of our commodities are imported by using what? Foreign currency. By the Honorable Speaker, the Minister of Finance and the Vice President should help and sit with the central bank, discuss and look about the foreign currency. We cannot impose on the commercial bank to say, this is the rate that you should sell. Yes, they accept to sell with that rate, while the other forex brokers are selling more than the commercial banks. Where is the control? Where is the control? Then you still create another problem. I'm not saying no to forex bureaus, but if you are controlling down there, we also filter it down. At least everything becomes one. But if you're not at the bank don't have it, the forex bureaus are having it, then who is going to the bank? If I am to go and sell my dollar, I better go and sell to the forex bureau than sell it to the bank. Then next minute there's a problem. So I think Honorable Minister and then the Vice President, we should sit with the central bank to see how best we can regulate that. Because it's very, very important. If it's going to happen, let it come down to the forex bureaus. Yes, we always talk about China. And I'm always proud to talk about China because I'm just from China. And I see the way they are doing things and they are right. If you have your foreign currency, you go to anywhere to see a forex bureau. No. Even if you are buying, they ask you to go to the bank and change it at the bank. Then there is a control. The bank controls everything. Why not here in the Gambia? A little country like Gambia. Let's control the forex bureaus and let them work in line with the banks. The moment you impose that rate to them, let us go back to the forex bureaus. I think that will help, at least to stabilize the foreign currency. Honorable Speaker, we always talk about Ukraine, Russia, and then COVID-19. The same China again, where it started, COVID-19. When I went there, I asked some questions. After COVID-19, what was the impact on the Chinese people? They did not feel it. Because everything was okay with them. So I think we have to move ahead from Russia-Ukraine war and then think of how best we can take our own case in the Gambia so that tomorrow it won't happen. So, Honorable Minister of Finance, I know you are doing a very good job, but you need to develop your effort. We always set targets for GRA to say we need this thing this year. So you only stop at GRA. So you only stop at GRA to say we need 3 billion, 10 billion every month. I think it must filter down. As our oversight function, Honorable Vice President, I think it's important you engage your ministries and set targets for them too. For the first quarter, this is what I want to happen. And I want to see it happening. We also set targets for you and the President, that this is what we want. By setting those targets, we'll change this country. But if we only put it only at one side as GRA, then GRA also to bring it back to us as citizens. Because if they overcharge at the ports, overcharge on their tax, then it comes back to us. So any amount you have, you give it back to GRA. So I think it is very important for us to look at those areas. Coming to the Ministry of Agriculture, which everybody talks about. I said here last time with the proverb, I think it is important now for the ministry to sit and start asking themselves a question. Honorable Vice President, engage the Ministry of Agriculture and his team. Tell them this is a concern from the Gambians. We need to know what is the problem. Monies are coming, monies are put in that ministry, and another day we are nowhere. Why is this happening? What is the problem? Send them to support. Let them stay in support. Stay in support will not solve the problem? I will say no. Even if they are here and they are doing what is right, honestly, there will be no problem. It's better you go to Kantora and get the local farmer there and put him as a Minister of Agriculture to give us what you want. Because they feel the pain. They know what they want. Yes, our technocrats are here to guide us. And I'm in support of that. They are here to guide us as technocrats. Just as in Parliament here. When we need them, we call them to come and advise us. But after advising us, hope they are doing what is right. Honorable Vice President, I think the Ministry of Agriculture needs to be looked at properly. We have the river, we have the land. What is our problem? Let's see how we can change this country. And the ministry can do it, if they are ready to do it. Gambia is very small, less than 3 million people in this country. Then what's the problem? Honorable Vice President, please, I think it's important you call them. I also have a question that, when I was going through the speech on agriculture, number 6, on the how to call it, the number 6, if you permit me to read it, Speaker, there will be incentive-based risk sharing system for agricultural lending. Which group are we targeting? Which group are we targeting? Is it the farmer in Sami, or are they people coming from outside who are there to invest in agriculture to be given money by the bank, or what? I think it needs to be very clear. We need to know who are we targeting. But if we are targeting our local farmers, I think we need to look at it properly. Because a farmer in Old Joshua who wants to engage into farming and then had nothing as a collateral, had nothing to protect him, you want to impose that onto him, it might be a failure based on your family needs around your area. So, Honorable Speaker, I think the minister should look at it properly and see how best he can then help us to make it clear to us what they mean, which group are they targeting, so that at the end of the day we know where we are. Honorable Speaker, coming to defense is important. As a member of the Defense Committee, we do go around on tours, we meet people, discuss with them. The government is trying, but what is lacking? What should we do for our men on the ground? How can we help them? They are ready to work. They love the job. But are they having what they want? It's a big question. Yes, they bought vehicles for them. The last time somebody mentioned about it here, this one nobody tells me. I saw it in my naked eyes. I was in Farafenni on Friday. If those vehicles are to be used to transport cement, their lifespan will be very short. I saw it. Nobody tells me. Those vehicles are meant for the army to take care of their services. But they are not meant there to transport cement to the combos. Is that right? It's not right. In case of any emergency, when those vehicles are there, it will be there with no problem. We went to Passage the last time. Men were sent to BANJUL and they were asked to pay for their own fares because they were not allowed to use those vehicles. Now those vehicles are used to transport cement. Nobody called me, or I'm not anybody. I saw it. I was there on Friday. Saturday morning, I can tell you where the shop is, next to the GT Bank of Farafenni. That's where that cement shop is. That's where they were loading the cement, and they were men in uniform loading those cements. Honorable Vice President, that should be looked at properly. Let them reserve those vehicles. As far as we don't have enough, let them reserve those vehicles. If you want to go and buy cement, pay your own transport and go and get those cement from Farafenni and bring it here. Honorable Speaker, still on the Ministry of Defense. Yes, there is a conflict in the Casamance region. We know. What should we do as a nation? We are not saying we go for arms to prepare for war, but we must be ready in case of anything else tomorrow. Where are our arms? They are all packed here in Bakau. For what? You would have a community that don't have arms. They have nothing with them. They only have a few AK-47. Some are even, most of them are very old. Why are they kept there in Bakau? For what reason? Give it to the men. These are our own people. They will not fight against us. But they are there to protect us. If they attack my compound tomorrow, I will start blaming them that they are not doing their job when they are harmless. It is time now we start working together with them, Honorable Vice President. Sit them, discuss with them. Look at those arms kept there. Before anything happens, give it back to them and control it. Ministry of Fisheries. I love to always talk about this point because I'm a Syrian. My men are crying. My Syrian people are crying in all these tenders. No fish. Currently, they are coming from outside, doing anything that they want in our own government territory because there's no control. In 2013, 2014, if I could recall, or 2015, most of our men were, at least 8 boats were caught from Old Joshua. For what? The size of the net that they were using, they were caught and they were charged. Before the court finished, all their boats and machines, nothing, zero. But it's no more happening now. Why? They are coming here, catching those fish and throwing them back to the river. And nothing happens. We license them, they are paying us a penny from those licenses. Those money collectors, what are they meant for? What are we having in return? I think if we want to develop this country, this agriculture and this fish industry needs to be developed. Government should start going to this landing area. If you prepare a good landing area for them, without giving them boats, giving them the equipment that they should use, it makes no sense. Spending millions for fish landing centers. At the end of the day, it makes no sense. There are young people who want to work, who want to venture into fishing, but they cannot do it because they don't have it. Those being deported are here. They want to go back and do something. Some are somewhere in the field of fishing, and they want to go back and do. But what is why is it OIC or what? What are they giving? OIU? I don't know what. What are they giving them? $40,000? Can that get you a boat? No. Let's go and start investing in this sector. The policies are there. There are many policies lying there in that ministry. They are not being taken care of. Why? And there were a lot of money lying in that ministry up till now. Let's please, Honorable Speaker, I think it's important with Honorable Vice President. If Honorable Jammeh is good in what he is doing in a ministry as a permanent secretary, and he's moving the ministry before moving him somewhere, see how best we can maintain him there. The movement of this permanent secretary also might create problems. Some have the history of those ministries. So moving them at times create problems. Let's maintain them. There was one permanent secretary is now at your office. Is it Jiba? In the ministry, he was with the Ministry of Fisheries. He is no more there. And that guy, he was in touch with his people at the grassroots. He was working with them closely. And they liked the way he was doing things with them because he was lifting the industry at a very high level. But he's no more there. Where is he now? At the president's office. Where is the knowledge that he was trained for? It's important to move, but when you are moving, move the party to the right place. Honorable Speaker, the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education. Yes, we blame government, we blame ministry, but I just think this time we have to share it together. What are we doing as parents? What are we doing as parents to change what is happening? If the resources are bad, if government contributed, we also contributed as families, as parents, sorry. Who among us here follow your boy or girl child to the school to know what he or she is doing? Who is here? Who among us here will sit a day and ask your child to bring his books and look at what he is doing at school? It's very rare. Even your child having a problem in class to ask you to help him, you think that you are tired. Give it to your mother. Why say I'm if the mother is not educated? It's not happening. Are we monitoring our kids from school? Are we monitoring at the school level? These are questions that we need to ask ourselves. Yes, government has a role to play. But if they are educating the teachers, giving them what they want, and it's still lacking, because teachers are still complaining. But how about the child in the house? When we prepare to go to the class, with only 4 or 8 hours with the teacher, how many hours are they spending with us as parents? That's the question that we need to share together. And Honorable Speaker, I think they have built structures for both junior and senior secondary schools in the country. But there are certain things that are lacking in those structures. I don't know why. The financial aspect of it, there are still some contractors who did not deliver up till now. What are they waiting? And the contracts are already past expiring state. And community higher education also, we approve a loan here for the University of the Gambia on what furnitures. How far have they gone with those furnitures? We need to know. Because we cannot do things without also not putting the record straight. Honorable Speaker, coming to the Minister of Interior, the President made mention of the rate of crime reducing in this country. By who? By the security force. That's the police per se, and the other people around the area. But is that enough? Our men are crying down there. Our brothers and sisters are in uniform. Are they having what they want? What is government trying to do for them? Their pays are small. Everything, they are not enjoying anything. We should start looking at those problems and see how best we can solve them. We cannot be here complaining all the time and we are not coming with solutions. Let's look at solutions to see how best we can bring those problems down. These are very key issues that we need to look at properly. Let's stand together as a team and help this country. The country is ours. Our men are in uniform. Our men in uniform needs to be taken care of. Honorable Speaker, coming to the Ministry of Lands, in this President's speech, there are policies for land issues. Honorable Speaker, there are many land disputes in this country. Total of Farato area.
Point of observation, please. Can I observe, please?
Farato area.
Honorable, can I observe you, please?
Honorable, proceed.
Observation, please.
Yeah, it's for him to allow, for you to allow the member. If you don't allow him.
Thank you very much for allowing me. But then I'm making a special appeal that let's look through the documents. Look at the point stated. What we agree, what you agree, profile solution, make headway. But if you want to talk generally, every sector, we cannot finish this discussion here. It's like turning to an adjournment debate. Look at the policy document given to you, criticize it, pro and cons, we forge ahead. We want to talk generally now, like agri sector, everything, we're not going to make headway. Exactly. Adjournment debate and debate on the speech. Please. Thank you.
I think I give you the floor to observe me, but I think, Majority Leader, being the Majority Leader, I have given you the floor, but it was the guy from Jara would have said no. I'm not thinking I'm out of touch. No, it's very simple. This is about the President's speech, and I'm talking about on Ministry A, B, C, and D. At the adjournment debate, that's fine, but here, please, coming to the Ministry of Lands, as I said, he mentioned of policies that they are preparing to guide the land issues in this country. I think it is high time for those processes to be brought here at the Assembly, so that we can act immediately. Because we have a lot of land dispute in this country. And in many areas, if you go to Farto currently now, the other issues that are happening there, people have been living in those compounds for years, and now they are entering into their compound and divide them into two forcefully. From different landowners claiming ownership. When you have been there for years in those areas, now people are going there, reducing their compound into sizes. So before anything happens, Vice President, I think it's important you engage the minister to go to the ground and see what is happening. Honorable Speaker, tourism and culture. Yes, somebody talk about the tariff at the airport. That's what is disturbing the sector. But I think also these are two things that we need to look at properly. We always concentrate. Honorable Speaker, don't worry, they cannot distract me. If I can hear me for 1 hour, if they want, I can do.
Please, Honorable Member. Please.
We have. Let me sit down.
No. I heard you murmuring. I was trying.
No, it's not me.
Yeah, please. No. When I drew your attention, you thought I was distracting you.
I'm not talking about you. I said don't worry about them. Don't worry about them.
I want them to give.
Don't worry about it. Let them continue.
When I'm speaking, please, you sit down, Honorable Member. Yes, please, Honorable Members, order. Please, let's allow him to put forward his contributions and thoughts. So when you have your time, you can also do yours. Thank you. Honorable Member, you may proceed.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Ministry of Tourism. Our constitutions are always on the tourist aspect of it. For culture, I only have a few things that we have mentioned, mostly on music and other things. We forget about our old days, our culture. Why are we called Gambians, and why are we called Sierra or Mandinkas or Jolas? I will also use China as an example. When we went there during our capacity building, they taught us their culture. They taught us something about their culture. And this is why they are where they are today. Because they respect it and they hold it very tight. So the ministry should start working very hard to bring those things back to this country so that we at least know where we come from. Because by knowing that we will have love for each other. Because all this point is because we don't love each other. We don't care about each other. We don't think about politics, APRC, UDP, or NPP. And that will not develop this country. We must put those things aside and see Gambia first. So that's why I talk about this cultural issue. Let's bring those things and make them something very important. The River Gambia is here. What are we doing? It can bring a lot of tourists in this country. What is the ministry doing on those things? What is the ministry doing on those things? What do we have here today to show people, to show tourists when they come here? What do you have to show them? James Island, with a few things that we can on our beach. Or Janjambure. We have other things that are within the river line. Let's take them there and then generate income for this country. Honorable Sise. On the health issue, Honorable Speaker, I might ask the Vice President because about this Aki issue. I had an engagement with one Indian guy that the company in India was closed but now reopened. But they are shifting the blame back to us as Gambia to say the Aki that the Gambia we are using, we are overdosing our kids. We use it to overdose our kids. So I want to confirm from you whether is it right or wrong? Because I had a very busy argument with them, but they say that company have started operation, and then when WHO went through to see that the medication that was sent to the Gambia was fine, there was no problem. But the problem we had was we were overdosing our people. Those young kids were being overdosed. So I want that to be properly checked, engage them, and know where the problem lies. Honorable Speaker, to come to my last point, that's the end point of the President's speech. Thus, we must forget about politics and come together, in which I agree. We must come together and see Gambia. Yes, politics is a continuation. Everyday people politics. But should we politics whilst there are many responsibilities lying in front of us? Should we argue unnecessarily? Should we fight without no cause? When will Gambia develop? When foundations are laid by people, let's take it off from there and build. But if you lay a foundation, I say that foundation is strong. I understand other foundation, Gambia will never develop. We must accept each other. See each other as one family. We are from the same country. Colors are only based on one day thing. Today's election, you have 3 or 4 boxes with different colors. But at home, there is no color at home. When you have different families from the same mother and father sharing different political views. So let's start thinking about Gambia and seeing Gambia. Gambia is our homeland. Nobody will come as an antibody for us, as the President said. If things are not going right, we say they are not going right. When they are going right, we compliment and say, fine, keep it up. But it's high time now for the President to take the guana and start hitting. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member, for Joshua. Your Excellency, Mr. Vice President, he asked very technical questions, and some of those questions are specific to sectors, which of course we need some of their technicians to guide you, probably. That's all the reason why you need to get in touch for all of them to be here. I now give the floor to the member for Sami. It's, yes.
Yes, before that, I think, sorry, thank you very much. It's my suggestion. Before going further, we are almost halfway, very close to 6 o'clock, and I'm just putting if we could end up session at 6 o'clock and come back another day, because if the way some of the members are taking it, they cannot finish. Thank you.
I am not sure whether that was a motion or a suggestion. That was a suggestion. If you have a motion, can you move a motion, Honorable Member? Can any Honorable Member move a motion for us to either Majority Leader, Minority Leader.
Honorable Speaker, I want to move a motion.
Majority Leader.
I want to move a motion.
Yeah, I'm not giving you the floor. Yeah, Majority Leader and member for Cantora. Go ahead.
I want to move a motion for us to adjourn, to sit beyond 6, but then also close at 8 to close by 8. Reason being, Assembly has already procured dinner for members of Parliament. If you close by 6, you go, it might be a waste of resources. So we appeal to stay for extra 2 hours, close by 8, have dinner, and come back tomorrow, please.
The motion. Huh?
No, you cannot put forward a counter motion when the motion have not even been seconded. Any seconder? The member for Woolly is.
Honorable Speaker, I rise to second the motion that we sit up to 8 o'clock so that tomorrow we can finish earlier. Thank you.
It has been moved. I'm putting the question. Please, Deputy Majority Leader, I'm putting the question. It has been moved and seconded that this assembly sit beyond 6 o'clock, but up to 8 o'clock in the evening. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. That is how it. The assembly will sit up to 8 p.m. Now, the member for Same.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the floor. I want to thank the ministers here present, plus the Vice President. Thank you very much. I want to thank the President for fulfilling the Constitution. That is, every year, once he come and address the Assembly. So, Honorable Speaker, I wanted to start with the concluding remark, where the President was talking about peace and unity. Honorable Speaker, as the Honorable Member for Nyamina Dankunku always said, this assembly, it is the assembly where the country is managed and where it can also put into trouble. Honorable Speaker, yes, he once stated here, Honorable Speaker, according to the President's speech, he talked more of unity. And how can we have unity among ourselves? We must respect each other. As a National Assembly member, we must respect each other. Honorable Speaker, I was definitely surprised when I came up with an audio from a National Assembly member against development going to my own constituency. I was surprised when I heard that audio. Started saying, mentioning villages, in fact, Same, mentioning villages, it's all about unity. And that's what the President is talking about. How can we have unity? And if you look at section 1112, we are all servants. And the President made it in his speech, regardless of where you come from, which party you are. We all belong to Gambia. This resource belongs to all of us. And it's a segregation, discrimination. If you look at the Constitution, it is discrimination to say that, yes, because somebody is in another party, so he or she should not have this. I was surprised. I think this honorable member will, Upper Fladu West, Upper Fladu West, I made it Upper Fladu West, it's clear.
Honorable member, please. Honorable member. Honorable member, I am a bit confused. I'm not sure. I don't think we've given him the floor before, so why not we concentrate on please, confine yourself.
Thank you very much. Honorable Speaker, we are talking about peace. How can we have peace? And this guy is trying to bring discrimination. Will that bring peace among ourselves? And it is in the State of Nation address. This president himself made it clear. So if you tell me I'm out of order, definitely I'm surprised. So I think this honorable member, Upper Fladu West, he has to apologize to the people of Same. He has to apologize to them and withdraw. Thank you. Honorable Speaker, I first want to go straight to agriculture. Agriculture, the importance of agriculture,
So,
Honorable Speaker.
Honorable member for Sami.
Yes.
You see, that's why I said you are out of order. Now you are confirming that by saying you will force on your contribution go to agriculture. That's when you are out of order.
No. I'm not out of order. That's a concluding remark. I'm not out of order. I'm not out of order. Then I was just looking at the concluding remark, and even the president himself, he started the sectors, and after he said the concluding remark. So I'm in order, Honorable Speaker. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I know you are just trying to pull my legs, but you cannot do that. Okay. Honorable Speaker, as I put it, I said I want to look at agriculture. Agriculture is a very important aspect in our life. We all know in those days, Honorable Speaker, we don't cry of food. We don't cry of food. Simply because we concentrated more on agriculture. But now, with a lot of technicians in agriculture, they should be able to inform us now. With climate changes, they should be able to inform us which kind of crop, if we grow, we will have bumper harvest. But since everybody is crying, food. And Honorable Speaker, if you look at the report, and I always used to say, Honorable Speaker, agriculture is crops and animals. I always used to say. But if you look at the crops, there is nothing mentioned about livestock sector. Nothing mentioned about livestock sector. And there are projects about small ruminants. And other projects, we would like to see the level of those projects in the agricultural sector. Because in those projects, we were told that they are going to provide drinking points for our animals. So we would like to see at least which communities they have provided those drinking points. But those things are not featured in the report. Honorable Speaker and Vice President, and I always used to say what I'm suggesting, and we all start thinking about it. You start discussing it at the executive state. Let's try and separate livestock and crops. Let's separate them. If not, we will not go anywhere. We will not go anywhere. Because if the agricultural sector only concentrate on crops and forget about animals, and some people, they only concentrate on animals, and you leave the animals, what about if there is no bumper harvest and all the animals die? What will happen? We will suffer. We will suffer. So these things, they go hand in hand. So you see, it's better we think of a livestock sector for them to have their own ministry. Honorable Speaker, defense. In the report, we say it is stated that they have provided vehicles for the daily operation, especially villages along the borders, which is of important, because if we look at especially villages that are along the borders, like the camp at Lamenkoto, they should have a mobility whereby if they are called upon, if there is an incident somewhere else, because most of the villages along that side are at the border end. But if there is no mobility, they find themselves in a serious situation. So to provide them mobility, I think that's a very good move. And I think they should have it. Fisheries and water resource. Honorable Speaker, in the report, we are also told that this sector have provided clean and drinking water for certain communities. But what we want to see in the report is, let's say, if you say 80,000 people or 80,000 people, we would like to see how many communities per region have these facilities, this drinking water. How many communities have it? That make it very easy to track, to see which village have from this project and which village did not have it. That make it very easy. Honorable Speaker, basic and secondary education, yes, they have done a great job. And even in the report, it is mentioned that with regard to the teachers' accommodation, yes, our partners, MRC Holland Foundation, they are doing a lot. But still, when we went to look at some of these schools, we found out that there are still gaps. There are still gaps that need to be filled. And in the reports, they told us that, yes, they are trying to take care of those things. I think they should try to prioritize those schools that are definitely in need of staff accommodation. I know now, currently, schools that are already constructing, they go line with the teachers' accommodation. It is those old schools that are still suffering of teachers' accommodation. But the current schools that they build, it goes with teachers' accommodation. Honorable Speaker, higher education, research, science, and technology. Honorable Speaker, there was a time, and I always put it, if you look at the whole Gambia, the whole region, it is only CRR North that did not have a skill training center. It's only CRR North. But thank you very much for providing. They have laid the foundation stone, a skill training center at Wasu. But we would like to see that one also, that in the report, at what stage? Because they have laid the foundation stone at the skill training center in Wasu. So if you say that you have laid the foundation stone, and that was a long time, so now you should indicate the level of implementation of that skill training center. You see? Honorable Speaker, transport, yes. As I said it, Lemenkoto Pasamas, that project was Babil Mansa's project. Yes, Lemenkoto Pasamas. It was his project. We call a spade a spade. That was his project. So thanks to the current government that completed the project. They are the one who completed now. But I could remember, before Jammeh go, his people mobilized, start clearing that place. I saw it. The work has started. So that was his project. So now they have also inaugurated electricity in Samen. Just some months back. That also is a great achievement. Yes, we appreciate it. And still there are more villages, Honorable Speaker, that did not have electricity. So, I'm appealing to the government. It's about electricity. Electricity is mentioned. No. Electricity is mentioned.
Please.
About
please. Honorable member.
Just allow me to land. The electricity by 2025. By 2025, the government said all the villages will have electricity.
Please.
That's what they said.
Honorable, please.
Yes.
Please.
No.
Honorable member, don't address him. Just continue. Ignore him, please.
Thank you. So thank you very much, Vice President, for that. We still look forward so that the remaining villages that did not have, let them also have it. As the other said, for me, no, I'm also expressing my views. So now, I for one, I will never, ever, either you are in my party or you are not in my party, I'm there for everybody. So that's why I'm surprised when I hear from this Upper Flood West to mention that. I'm definitely surprised. I'm surprised. I think we need to make a train for such people so that they know how to address when they are in certain gathering, because some people are carried away. When they see a lot of people, they are carried away. They don't in fact know what should I say and what should not I say. You see, it's a problem. Honorable Speaker, health. We all know the health sector. They are trying, but still there are still gaps in the health sector. And Honorable Speaker, you know, you and I know, we are all from the CRR North. And it is, the President made it in his speech that they want to construct 5 standard hospitals. And that one also, Honorable Speaker, Honorable Minister, and Vice President, if you look at, you know, it's not part of lobbying. You know, you look at the priority area. You look at the priority area. When things comes, look at others that need it. The whole CRR North, there is no hospital. So I think among these 5, we should have one at the center. At the center. Yes, we should have one. Because look at the one in Bansang. What is there? Crossing. Wherever there is crossing, Honorable Speaker, you are in trouble. Huh? No, I'm not lobbying. Honorable Speaker, I think we should have it. CRR North should have it. Honorable Speaker, if you look at transport, one thing that I did not see there is the ferry. The issue of ferries is a concern. These ferries are not in good order. As I am speaking, since colonial time, the crossing point at Bansan, they are pulling. There was a time they brought ferry there, but because of, I don't know, politics, when it is about politics, they brought a new ferry there. After a time, they move it. Now we don't see it. We are still moving, pulling the ferry. So please, I think we also, move from this thing now. We should also have a new ferry now in order to ease the movement. Honorable Speaker, Interior, in this speech, the President himself expressed the ministry that the cases, the number of cases in the Gambia has reduced. So he expressed them. But now, Honorable Speaker, when you go to some police station, you wonder if you go and visit them, where they are staying. It's terrible, to be candid. It's very, very terrible. I think their condition also, we need to look at. I always want to take examples, so that if I say examples, you will say, yes, it's something true. Like Karantaba, go to Karantaba police station, you see where they are staying. It's terrible, Honorable Speaker. Development, we have to prioritize. We look at others that they need. Here, even when there is a problem, you can easily have vehicle here. But those at the bush, they cannot have vehicle when there are cases there. So the government need to prioritize those areas. Because the vehicle are many here. But at the rural areas, there is no vehicle when there are cases there. Sometimes if they inform them before they come, those will disappear. They will disappear. Thank you very much. Honorable Speaker, Judiciary, others have said it here. That also is the National Assembly members. Because anything, ministers, their role is to bring it here. The draft constitution came here. How many millions was spent on that draft? It's gone. So everything has a time. When they are bringing the constitution, the draft one, let them bring it right now. If they wait until election, it will fail. Yes, it will fail. It will fail. It will fail. Let them bring it now so that we can start sensitizing each other on it and look at the ones that are interest to the people. We can look at those ones. But if we wait until at the tail end, you bring it, we waste resources. Before we do that, let them look at our health sector, our educational sector, and put something. Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the floor. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, member for Same, and congratulations. I saw some of those villages. Member for Same, congratulations. I saw those thatched roof with electricity. That's amazing. Congratulations. Yes, he's praying for more. I wish that all your villages electrified. Thank you. I now invite the member for Bundungakunda.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Vice President, we want to thank you and also thank His Excellency the President for fulfilling his mandate and all the ministers present here. I think this SONA was very important in a sense, to give all sectors of the government their current status and what they intend to do and what they want to do, so that at least we can know what to do. So this is why today we are here to give our contribution. One of the things that I was expecting from the president, which he said, and as leaders, and this is what we are expected to do, if you want to really serve your people and you at least achieve your development goal, one thing that you need to focus is about unity. And he made that in his concluding remark. And that one, in fact, he taxed us as parliamentarians. He said, "Honorable members, whilst discharging your duties, I urge you to dialogue and initiate bipartisan collaboration in a positive, democratic manner." Page 55. I think this is very important. And he also mentioned politically on page 54, like all other nations, we have our share of global concern over internal security, crime, living costs, stability, employment, public service, and productivity. Nevertheless, the critical factors that threaten peace and development most is disunity. As I always observe, as he said, Honorable Speaker, we may belong to different political parties, religious faith, and other social groups, but we must unite as a nation to realize our national target. Here, he is not only referring to politicians like us, but he is referring to all stakeholders, be it religious faith, be it civil society organization, so that we can come on board, join hands together to develop our country, which I think all of us representing our people from our various constituencies, I think we all want to unite our people, talk to our people so that they can all come together to develop your constituency. And all of us here, we all want development in our various constituencies. The only way we can do that is it has to start from here. You see, the National Assembly is very important. People need to see our oneness first, so that the executive, the judiciary, and the outside, the citizen, can definitely respect us. We can only do that based on that bipartisan politics. Whenever there is issue, let's just try to address it based on what is right. What is not right, we forget about it. So for that being the case, when we come to Minister of Transport, Works and Infrastructure, he mentioned a lot of road projects, which is very, very, very commendable. And I think most of the communities within our KMC region, we are benefiting from this OIC project. So we appreciate it, and we must thank the government for bringing such a project. But equally, because we are here just to add value to whatever sector he mentioned based on what they are doing. The projects are ongoing, but what we learn, because as a National Assembly member, yes, we should perform oversight function, but equally in our various constituencies also, if there is any government project or anything that has to do with the aspiration of our people, we must try to bring it out. So some of the projects that are ongoing, example, our own Bundung Highway, there is a delay, and not only Bundung Highway, but most of the road, especially the OIC project. So I think the Minister of Works should start, in fact, based on the new roads that are coming, to identify some of these road contractors, whether they have the capacity to be able to at least fast track some of these projects. Because it's always difficult for people to understand. Whenever you bring projects in their community, they will be very happy and they will be very happy with the government. But at the end of the day, sometimes, I don't know for what reason, whether it is on the side of the government or on the side of the contractor, but sometimes based on the current status of our road, the way and the manner it is, people are not much happy about it. And in fact, the way and the manner it is right now, if it rains, I am foreseeing disaster. This is the second time I'm mentioning it, and I think the minister should come on board. You know, sometimes it's important. Even though there is a project, it's always good to communicate. If you bring a project in my community, if there is any issue concerning about the project, there are stakeholders in the community. Call them, bring them on board, communicate with them, so that they can also know what is the problem, and they can get back to the people and sensitize them for them to understand what is really happening. But if you bring a project and the project is slow, sometimes, you know, it defeats the purpose. So, Honorable Speaker, on the side of Minister of Office of the Vice President, the National Disaster Management Agency, as he mentioned, last year there was a flood, and the late Vice President, may his soul rest in peace, went round, and the President himself went round to see affected areas. So I think it's high time the NDMA, you know, to start getting themselves proactive. You know, you cannot just wait for, a flood happen for the whole year. You don't even, come up with any temporal solution. Then you wait till the other rainy season. The same thing happens. You start giving them rice, and sometimes this rice food ration they are giving is very good. But at the end of the day, sometimes people like us, the parliamentarian and the councillors, sometimes it gives them problem, because at the end of the day, it's based on share basis. Sometimes the amount of food ration that normally comes doesn't reach to the direct beneficiaries. When I say direct beneficiaries, like the number of beneficiaries that are affected. So sometimes it normally brings some kind of misunderstanding between the community and the elected officials. So I think the national disaster, they should start working on, like when you know there is a flood in this area, come to the ground, see the stakeholders, discuss with them, and also not only parliamentarian, but like the area councils are there. They can always collaborate to at least mitigate some of those issues. So because we know last year there were so many areas affected, but after the movement of the Vice President, from there was a food ration which was very, very welcoming, but from there was no action. Because there are certain areas you just need to take a grader and try to do some work there so that at least it can mitigate the area. So for me, actually, this is not an adjournment debate. Already, as a community, we already have an initiative, and if we have the support from the NDMA, we will at least do something before the rainy season, which we already started yesterday. Honorable Speaker, on the side of the Minister of Trade, yes, they mentioned 150,000 jobs in 5 years. Yes, it's possible. Because it's not only the sector that we are looking at. If we really want to achieve this, meaning most of the government sectors, we really need to, they need to improve their standard, like agriculture. We're talking about agriculture, and it's rather unfortunate. Most of the members, definitely they don't have a hope in agriculture. And in fact, to me also, I think even taking them to SAPO, that's not the solution. The solution is whether you are there or not, just take your responsibility and know what you're supposed to do and do it. Because at the end of the day, we said we have a lot of doctors there who are well educated, and the ordinary Gambians are depending on them. So if they cannot solve that sector, it's always a problem. Because the reason why I don't even talk about it, when I went to that Halipacha during my field trip, I was surprised because I never went there, but I saw the potentials that could be, we can explore so that at least we can have full self-sufficiency. So I don't know for what reason why we are not doing that. And luckily also we have fresh water. So this is something that I think the agricultural sector, they just need to try, because the reason why we are complaining, because agriculture feeds us. Whatever we eat most of the time, if you look at it, is from the agricultural sector. So if we cannot feed ourselves, it's going to be very difficult for even to have basic communities cheap. Because most of these communities like rice, oil, and other stuff, we are importing it into the country. So sometimes the market price, the international market price, may determine the price, the local price here. So this is why for us to have cheap, maybe prices on the basic commodities like rice, we really need to invest a lot in agricultural sector. So on the side of the youth and sports, the 150,000, the Minister of Youth and Sport also, they have a role to play in that. Because sometimes when we talk about youth, we are not talking only about the elites, but we should talk about these ghetto boys. They are equally very important, and sometimes we don't want to consider them part of the society. And most of these people, I can tell you for free, they have potentials. But the only challenge that they have is like the support that they need, and sometimes we have to go. So this is why that ministry, they have to be proactive, to begin going into the communities, engage these potential stakeholders, so that the youths, they can know what is really happening, especially in some of their projects, like the YEP project and other projects that they have. Because sometimes they don't even know, and they are not even aware, so that at least they can also grab something from those projects. Honorable Speaker, on the side of health, the Minister of Health, yes, it is stated that 5 state-of-the-art health centers will be built and well equipped. Yes, I think it's important, because some members we are saying the existing ones, we can equip them. In fact, that we need to do that earlier before this one. But equally, this other one also is important, and I will also join my honorable colleague for SAMI and the CRR, is it not? Because I just traveled there, and I did my feasibility studies. I think you need a lot from the government, and with this thing you're talking about, I think, because that is one of the things that I was asking for, and I think the 5, maybe they can bring one in your area to make life easy for those people. Because it's not about you come from Bundung or Larikundo or Banjul. Whatever we do here, we are doing it for the Gambian people. That is the most important thing, whether Bundung benefit or not. But if Sami or any other constituency benefit, meaning is our own people. So for that being the case, we will encourage the Minister of Health to fast track this project, because it will also reduce some burden on some of these other health sector facilities, especially in the greater Banjul area, because most of the time they travel down to Banjul or any other place. So, Honorable Speaker, on the side of petroleum and energy, it is stated that there is a project on electricity expansion and water expansion on the OIC project. So what I just want to, my take on that is about, yes, the electricity project is going, and right now we have at least a stable electricity, which we must commend the ministry. But equally, on the side of water, we still have a lot to do as far as the country is concerned. Because when you look at rural Gambia, yes, you may have electricity, but I think water is more important than electricity at this moment, because if you don't drink, you'll die. So, and most of the village, when you go to them, one thing that they always cry is water, 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 water. So I think it's a right for every single village in the country to have water. So I don't know how NAWEC is going to work with the Minister of Water Resources, Fisheries and Water Resources, so that they can come up with a system, you know, a system wherein at least they can target, you know, villages within a number of years, so that all the villages, they can have access to water, because it's very, very important. The reason why I'm saying this, because most of the communities that we deal with, when you ask them what is your priority, they talk about water. And which I think already it is indicated that the government of Japan is supporting, which is very commendable, but at our level also we need to do something. Because some of these loans that we are ratifying, approving, is good. But the most important thing is whatever loan we approve here, let them put it into good use. And at the same time, because at the end of the day, we are going to pay it. So every single Gambian should realize himself as far as the loans are concerned, the benefit I mean. So for that being the case, I encourage the Minister of Petroleum and Energy, because some of the areas in the Greater Banjul area, not only my constituency, but within Greater Banjul area, you don't have water still now. Pressures are low. So with this OIC project, I think they need to fast track the project. And also, because that project also is given to contractors. So I think it's high time, government, whenever you are giving project to these people, try to screen them, know their capabilities, know their capacity, you know, for them to be able to, you know, at least execute some of this project. Because I think government is doing its part. That's what I think. And at the same time, the contractors, because sometimes you may go into agreement with them, but at the end of the day, they don't have the capacity. Because the reason why I'm saying that is through our Bundung Highway. The contractor they gave the contract, I know him, he is doing another contract, but I don't think he has the full capacity to be able to execute 2 projects at the same time. And right now, the way and the manner that road is, the minister should come into our community, we discuss and see what we can do together and collaborate. Because for us, we are always ready to collaborate and partner, so that we can try to mitigate before the rainy season comes. So, Honorable Speaker, on the side of Minister of Environment, yes, I must commend the Minister and the government of the Gambia for introducing Setsetal. You see, it's always very important for us to understand why we are called Gambian. You know, because this Setsetal, people were perceiving it as a political thing. If Honorable Jammeh is a councillor or a parliamentarian, he just have to mobilize his own people. So other political parties, they will stay back. It shouldn't be like that. We should all come together and do it. And one thing I observe, that is to the executive, because whenever the president is coming out, everybody wants to come out for you to be seen. I don't think we are not fair to ourselves and we are not doing the right thing. Whenever there is national settle, be it the president, be it the minister, be it any of us, we should just remain in our communities and do it. You don't need the president to see you. So I'm encouraging everybody, all Gambians, to come on board. We all support this initiative because we're talking about cleanliness, and even our two faith that we have. This is what we encourage, and this is what it encourages, and I think it's something that we need to at least encourage, and we all work towards it. So, Honorable Speaker, on the Minister of Gender, the Women Enterprise Fund, definitely I must commend the government and the ministry for coming up with the initiative. And I understand the first phase is finished, or they are coming to introduce another phase with the same arrangement according to the document. So which I must comment, because there are so many women who benefited, and definitely today some of those women, today you can see them doing their small-scale business, which definitely has really added something in their lives. So one thing that I just want to appeal here is like whatever we are doing as far as that project is concerned, that Women Enterprise Fund is concerned, this political thing, we need to remove it there. Because the first phase was, they normally channel it through the councils. So I'm appealing to all the area councils to ensure that, like, if they bring it through them, and the councillors, let them try and engage their community women groups, regardless of which political party they belong to, so that they can benefit. So this is very important, and definitely this is the only thing that you can give to the women, especially our women groups that are within the Greater Banjul, especially our KMC area, because for us, we don't have that much garden and farming, but we are very good in petty trading. So, Honorable Speaker, on the side of higher education, yes, there is in line, page number 24, in line with the new focus on TVEC through the strategic plan 2021-2025, and in collaboration with its partners, the ministry is expanding access to TVEC program. This is very important. This is also going to be a contributing factor to achieve our 150 jobs. Because if you train these people, they can employ themselves and employ others. So which I think we really have to invest more into this, because it's more of skills development. And also at the University of the Gambia, yes, we must commend the government of the Gambia for definitely offering scholarship to the student, definitely, because most of our students live in grade 12. Nowadays, they want to go to the university. And the only challenge that some of these students normally have, they will have a very good results, but because of their family background, they don't have access to the university. So I think with the financing, I don't know, something like scholarship, financial assistance, deserving student, ministry plan to implement student loan scheme. I think this student loan scheme will definitely address some of those things, and definitely we must commend the ministry and the government for coming up with that. Because at the end of the day, we are all here to change the life of our people that we represent. Today, if I wish whatever challenge my people are facing or are faced with, the government just come and, settle all that. So by saying that, we must learn to appreciate, but also if there is anything that we feel is a gap, we can talk about it and bring solution. Because it shouldn't just be against policies and whatever, but whatever we do, we should try to talk about it and bring solutions so that we can collaborate to achieve our development goal of the country. Honorable Speaker, on the side of fisheries water resources, last time during our adjournment debate, I was saying, like, it's high time government of the Gambia also to see how best they can also try to get these fishing trawlers, not to just leave it with these foreign trawlers, so that at least it can also generate employment and revenue for the government. And I think right now there are so many youths who are very passionate about this fishing thing, and equally also, one of the members said it here, that at least we should try to train these people, especially those coming from backway, whatever, because of the amount they give them. But government itself need to come up with an initiative wherein they can give them some kind of, fishing boat for them to go and do fishing. Because it's always very important that when they come, you try to give them something, whether it's going to be from the other country who send them here also. So these are some of the things that are very important. And on the side of Minister of Regional Government, there is a land policy that they are coming up with, which I think will address some of this land dispute. And definitely, that one, in fact, we are encouraging and appealing to the ministry to fast track that so that at least some of these land issues we can have a policy. Because looking at the current status with this real estate thing, so if we are not careful, we may not have land for our future generation. And it's high time we try to think along that line, because a real estate dealer might just go and buy a product and later sell it. So if they buy all the remaining land or whatever, so it's going to be very difficult, and I am appealing to the ministry so that at least they can also try to consider that and bring that one as soon as possible. And actually 2022 sooner, the Local Government Act was set, but this time around, it was, I didn't see it, but I know hopefully the ministry is working on it, because so that at least if we have that, that will bridge this gap between the local council and the government. Because we must advocate that whatever development we are talking about here, we are doing it, we are saying it, and whatever development we may discuss here, the end, it has to go to the grassroots level. And this grassroots level, they are represented by their local councils. So this is why I must talk about it, I must say it. With the Local Government Act, when we have it, it will really address some of these issues that are, happening in between the ministry and the Local Government Act. Because we are all one, we are all partners in development, but with the new Local Government Act, it will address, because right now, most of the councillors are not paid, they are on allowances. And whenever you resign or you serve 1 term, 2 term, or 3 term, you go home with nothing, which I think is not fair for the local councillors and their mayors. Because as National Assembly member, I think when you even serve 1 term, you go home with a gratuity. So it's good that with this new Local Government Act to come up with this salary scheme so that at least if they serve, they can also realize and get something from the country and the people that they were serving. So on that note, I want to appeal to the ministry to fast track that so that at least the confusion, because the little advice that I have with the local council and the ministry, we don't have to be competing or be trying to go this way, this one go this way. We are partners. we have to work together, at least together, because as National Assembly members, we all have our councillors, and we must work with our councillors, whether you like it or not, even though you don't belong to the same political parties. Because if you fail to do that, then you are failing the people of your constituency. So in doing that, we must have to support each other, work together to achieve our goal. So on that note, I want to thank Honorable Speaker for giving me the floor, and thank you very much, Honorable Ministers, Vice President, for your time. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Member for Bunu Kakunda. I now give the floor to the member for Brikama South.
Thank you so much, Honorable Speaker. First of all, I want to thank the President for fulfilling his constitutional mandate. And this time, interestingly, he has heed to our advice, bringing the State of the Nation address in June. And we still further want to appeal if we can do it during the first quarter of the fiscal year. I think that will really play a key role. So we definitely thank him. And I equally want to thank His Excellency, the Vice President that is seated before us here, to attend the debate on the State of the Nation address. Honorable Speaker, it is very important for us to have a reflection about this statement. One thing I just want to inquire from the Vice President, whether there is a format in giving the State of the Nation address from the different MDAs. I think the State of the Nation address comprises of submission from the ministries, department, and their agencies that are submitted, whether there is a standard format. Because sometimes if you look at some of the submission from different ministries and actually what is happening, there is a huge disparity. But I want to start with the Ministry of Finance, and the Finance Minister is here. It's very interesting, and I'm very much happy he is around. By looking at the statement from the submission from the Ministry of Finance, especially the fourth paragraph, where they're talking about the comparison of revenue between 2022 and 2023 fiscal year, where there was an increment of 5% and 20% respectively from domestic tax and custom and excise tax. That has been increased from 2022 to 2023. I definitely want to put the attention of the minister here, the disparity gap between the source of income and cost of living, which is a serious burden currently. And with this increment, I just want to inquire from the minister whether it's going to attract the increment of prices of our basic commodities. The Gambian people are really affected, and we are constrained, and we have to work on how do we bridge the disparity gap between the source of income and cost of living. It's very high. Going forward, Honorable Minister, I was expecting an implementation report of the 2023 budget. Like we are almost into halfway, we are in June. How much was attained from the revenue component, the tax and non-tax revenue? That stands at 16.8 billion. How much was attained from the tax revenue and the non-tax revenue? 13.9 and 2.9 respectively. Also, the project and the program grant, that stood at 14 billion. How much do we attain? And below the line item, the budget deficit that is going to be financed through domestic borrowing and foreign amortization. How much is also attained? So that we can know the predictability of the realistic nature of the 2023 budget. Because one important thing, I know every ministry send in a request on monthly submission that you disburse to these ministries. Sometimes the ministers will be expecting this month, this is what we want to implement. Do we attain the actual fund in order for them to get it and implement it? So that is why we need to know. It's also very, very important for us to address if there are gaps, how can we improve upon this? And this needs to be known to the populace through the National Assembly. The other issue I want to talk about, we have just passed the state-owned enterprise bill that is already assented by the president. What is the status of this particular commission that needs to be established? I know we expect a special roadmap with regards to the appointment of these commissioners. What stage? Because we need to be informed so that they can start working on these state-owned enterprises. And there is another area where the president emphatically made it very clear that he has signed a performance contract with GPA, GNPC, and Social Security, and is expecting another signing contract with GIA, GPPC, GGC, and GAMPOST. I think these are very important, and I know the Directorate of the State-Owned Enterprise is under the Ministry of Finance. We need to be very sure that these state-owned enterprises can be paying dividend. And most of them, we know their conditions. It's important. Thank God 2023 budget, there is 360 million that is coming as a dividend. But primarily, 250 is coming from Central Bank and 100 million from GPA and 60 from GNPC. So we want signing this performance contract. Let also there be the issue of dividend policy need to be known so that we can have it on table. So that these 13 state-owned enterprises can be paying dividend to the consolidated fund for the citizenry to use it. So those are the things that I need some clarification with regards to the Ministry of Finance. One, the implementation report. Two, the dividend policy and how much is attained in the budget execution too. Going forward, Honorable Speaker, most people spoke about the agricultural subsector, and I want to believe this is the only way out. Before, on annual basis, we keep on blaming Russia, Ukraine, and COVID-19, when we have our own solution on our hand and we are throwing it. I think agriculture, I don't blame the staffs of agriculture and even the highly qualified staff we're talking about. Agriculture needs a national consultation and the political will has to be there. We have to understand the minister who is a policy advisor to the president is appointed by the president unilaterally without any consultation. And you have the permanent secretary that is also appointed in consultation with the PSC. If there are legislative gaps, can we work on these issues to make sure that agric serve us the way we want? The only country we have that is completely flat from Katong up to the tail end, Fatoto, 11,295 square kilometers in length is all flat. And currently, we have already approved the loan agreement for the soil fertility mapping. That will give us an idea, the nutrient content of our various soil. Which crop can be better in URR, which can be better in CRR and West Coast. This is very, very important. And in this loan, there is going to be an out-of-state facility where soil sampling will be done to test it, rather than going to Senegal and outside the country. If we are doing this thing, I think there is a need. We've been saying over and over, the government is contracting loans, and there are grants that are coming into this country. But if you look at their status, how are they designed? Most of these things are designed outside. And I was very much surprised. Some of these projects, even the farm to recruit the staffs, is done outside. It is given to the outside farms to do the recruitment. And when there are loans, there are grants for the Gambian people, we are going to pay it. So we need to be at the center stage of the implementation. And the most unfortunate part of it, these loans that are contracted on behalf of the country, they are given to projects outside the mainstream agriculture. Where if you look at the operational cost compared to the target beneficiary percentage, there are huge gaps. And we have to regulate it. Why not bring it in our mainstream agriculture? So we start supervision and monitoring from that place, rather than giving it to the project. You can see agricultural staff resigning, joining projects. Why not if it is done within the main agriculture? The staffs will remain, they maintain their position, and we also monitor the implementation so that we can know how much are this project going to affect the life and livelihood of the Gambians. These are issues that we have to look at it. You cannot blame the ministry. We are not serious as a country. Everybody is saying agriculture is the food basket of this country. But how do we ascertain that? Because we have to look at the importation of the food items in this country. We have to look at our policies. Let's invest and put embargo on certain importation of certain food commodities. Rice is our staple food. Everybody needs rice. But we cannot grow the rice that we are going to consume here locally. And currently, because of this flash flood, we have a lot of issues. We expect this thing to be embedded in the report of the agricultural subsector. But if you look at this scanty reporting, when we have major issues confronting our agricultural subsector, and without a permanent solution to this, we will never go ahead. It's going to be very difficult. How much do we invest in the importation of food items? Even our neighboring countries, there are this ECOWAS protocol. But they are very much compliant in protecting their own local industries. And secondly, there is a huge disparity between the production linking to the market. There are productions, but there is no market for our produce. And this is also discouraging farmers. It's very difficult to till the soil. You make sure that you produce, especially in the vegetable aspect, that are perishable in their nature, no storage facility. These are issues. People said it here. We have a lot of fruits that we cannot even process them into juice. Are we serious as a country? We are even thinking in other sectors of the economy and forget about agriculture. Agriculture is very crucial. And there is no sector that can work in the absence of agriculture. Our foods cannot be in the hands of other people. So we have to look at this critically. Honorable Speaker, from the agricultural subsector, I also want to talk a little bit about the Works and Infrastructure Ministry. That there is this issue of phase. The first phase of Brikama market has been fully constructed. But even day before yesterday, if you are around, you know that there was a fire incident in Brikama market. And the most vulnerable market, I think, in the whole country is Brikama in terms of fire outbreak. I remember in 2019-2020, we gave $100 million to rebuild the Basse market in its entirety in order to avoid recurrence of fire incident. When it came to Brikama, I was emphasizing this issue. The 20 million that was given, I said, this cannot. Unless Brikama market take overhauled, we have a holistic review and build the market in order to avoid the recurrence of. You are building the other phase. Before the next phase, the entire area is burnt again. These are issues that we have to look at it. It cannot be rebuilt in a piecemeal. And it's a bigger community. You know how many people depend on Brikama market for survival on daily basis? These are issues, but sometimes we have to, I'm not trying to I'm not trying to be discriminatory, but we have to look at it, what is at hand. It's important. If we are contributing in rebuilding the market, let's do it holistically, not piecemeal approach. That will really impede our interest. The other aspect that is lands and regional government, I think this is a major issue that we have to look at. Since 2017, we've been singing land policy, land policy. I don't know how long will it take us to come out with a land policy in this country. And this is another timing bomb in the country. People said it here. There is serious encouragement into our agricultural land, our industrial land. How do we ascertain that we have a policy in order to reserve land for future development? Estate development are encouraging, and there is no policy regulating them. I'm a little bit worried whether it will take us more than 3 decades for us to have a simple land policy. And currently, I don't know whether you were aware that I think the minister is supposed to be here to hear from this. There's a serious conflict between Kombo East and Kombo Central. Talokoto and Busura in particular. And up till today, you have securities that are based in that particular area. Serious land disputes. People were wounded seriously. I was at the hospital to look at these people. You know, the way they are fighting, they are attempting to kill one another. So that is why currently you have the security that are based in these areas. But the current situation cannot even tell us our district boundaries. Since 2017, we're talking about this land policy. And again, you're talking about the soil fertility mapping in order to attract the private sector into our agricultural production. Without this land policy, I doubt it very much whether we'll be able to bring the private sector into this particular production that we're thinking about. It's important, it's long overdue. It's long overdue. The issue of, from the regional boundaries, we also look at our boundaries and the territorial integrity of this country. The level of encouragement. I think there are a lot of people that are from border villages. They know what is happening. They said under the defense, there is going to be a procurement of vehicles for operation along the border. Do we even know our borders? Up till today, we don't even know. There are communities in our respective constituencies who we are yet to determine whether they are Gambian owned or Senegalese owned. We know it, and this is happening. So that is why this is very, very important. And the other aspect, you talk about the MFDC and the Senegalese in the defense report. How can we be using our own territorial integrity to fight with a rebel in our own country? These are issues that we have to look at it holistically and make sure that we restore our territorial integrity. Honorable Speaker, I think that is going to be my last point. The issue of creation of 150 jobs for the next 5 years. I'm a little bit worried. Are we really investing into the productive sector that can create jobs? See, when we are thinking, I think we have to understand, they have to go together. You have to make sure that you invest, and there is a provision. Our economy become liquid so that we can expand and recruit more. But the trend in which we are going, I think there is no way in attaining this. It's going to be difficult. We have totally forgone about agricultural production that can accommodate a lot of recruitment. And you talk about the youth and sport. There is a merger between the youth component and the sporting component. And I think it's the ministry, the most vulnerable ministry. To me, sometimes I believe it's a punishment for a minister, taking ministers to that ministry. Because it's the ministry that attracts the lowest budget line. And this place is confronted with a lot of issues. Unemployment is another. If we are dreaming that we are going to create 150,000 jobs, when the area is stagnant, how do we compare the two? Even the sporting component is another problem. Because the sporting component, we are just coming from the under-20 tournament. That trip to Argentina, you know how much does it attract? It's almost exhaust the budget line. And not every individual is academically sharp in class, notwithstanding you have a skill to survive. That skill can be any of the sporting disciplines. So it's a duty incumbent upon us to create that enabling environment where the youth will come exhibit these skills, nurture it, promote it, so that they can be connected. But these are problems. You bring in two major areas, you merge them, and yet it's one of the most vulnerable ministries. I think we need a holistic approach. I want to just conclude and thank everybody for our participation in this debate. You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member. I now invite a member for Jara West.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, let me first of all thank the Vice President and the Honorable Ministers who are here. Also, I use this opportunity to thank the President for fulfilling his constitutional mandate. Honorable Speaker, without wasting much time, I just want to go to the concluding remarks of the President. Today I'm seeing so many of the members are going to the concluding remarks because they are really touching, very important. Very, very important. Members have spoke very well, but I doubt whether we will do it. That's my question, whether we will do as he said, or as we said, because we are repeating, it is very, very important, very vital for our development of this country. But I doubt whether we will do it. Standing here and talking is very easy. Honorable Speaker, as I said, to the concluding remarks, like number 7, the President says, Honorable members, the core mandate of the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary are interlocked and require that we work together in harmony. And he said, no person is an island, and no unit in an interlinked structure can function in isolation. This is very powerful. I believe all of us are here with this. The development of a country cannot be done by the President only. It is our collective responsibility, no matter where you come from. As long as we are a citizen of the Gambia, we have to join hands and develop this country. I said it here, I think, a day before the SONA. Let's leave this politics behind. The politics can never take us anywhere. But there are times now in the morning or in the afternoon, people are running to tune radios to listen to politics. We have plenty of work to do to develop this country. But you go and listen to radios on politics, sending audios, insulting each other, assassinating characters. I doubt whether that can move a country. And there is no limit for this. This is every day. If we are in for politics, all of us, let's go out and do our politics. Whoever wins, know that it is the will of Allah. It's not you are better than the people. God gives you that position because it was destined to be. not you are better than the people. But here, I said it, I'm listening, but let's see whether it will happen. If it goes, believe me, I said it last time, this is the only institution that can develop this country. It is the only institution that can level this country. Yes, some members will come here to say, today I pinned the minister, today I pinned the president. When you go out, what is that? Are you voted for that? No way. No way. That is not why you are here. But just to pin the minister at a corner. Today, I hit him. What does that benefit your people and you yourself? Today, somebody is the president. Tomorrow, I could be the president. Tomorrow, you could be the president. You want a better condition for the people of the Gambia. The people you are leading, you want them to live good. How are you going to achieve that? Please, let's work together. Maybe I don't have nothing in my head, but you have something in your head. Let's add it together and develop this country. When I said we are the institution that can level this country, if a minister is here, what he brought to us is not correct. Let's accept it's not correct. But also, we have committees with different political parties. I thank our standing order, our regulations that select us with different partisan politics, put us in one committee so as to achieve our development, our goals. When we go inside our committees, let's invite the ministers. They are technocrats. Let them tell us what they are up to. We also bring our own. We will move. But you know me, I'm short-tempered. I don't want to hear sweet things. I believe in work. I believe in work. If they are here, whatever they gave us, even when it is not nice, let's say it's not nice, it's not convincing. This report is very sweet. But the president, he didn't finish it. He touched some are on development, some are at the middle, some are not finished, some are not started. Who will start it? Who will finish it? Not him. No. He cannot do it alone. He said it. There is nobody who is an island. But for us, it's our responsibility. We are here for our people. I just said it, not a political party. The election cycle have gone. Let's work together. He said it. There are development going all over. When we stand here, each and every member will cry for his constituency. It's not about your political party, but your constituency. You are free to ask for your constituency because you are representing your people. And then when development comes, if it comes, the president don't dictate it has to go for a party or for a party. It goes throughout the country, cross-cutting. So please, let's make it happen. Let's see this country as our Jannatul Firdaus. Let's do whatever it takes to see this country move, but not to fight. As I said, some members will come here today when I catch that minister. He will not sleep today. What is that? Does what have that got to do with you? What? My nephew, don't worry. Let me stay away. Okay, all right, thank you. No problem, thank you. Yes, I just, the way things are going, I believe we can make it happen. I've heard people talk sweetly. And let me tell you, as I said that day, I don't care who, anybody. It is the people of Jara West, that's why I am here. When I am on my feet, I always speak what I think is good for me and for my people. Whoever takes it, alhamdulillah. If you don't take it, alhamdulillah. I came here when I was very tough like this. There is nothing I increase in me. I'm ever like this. But it's serious. When we go to transport infrastructure, number one, there is no country that can develop when you don't have roads. Roads is very important. There is no way that you can develop when you don't have roads. We have people behind. They harvest good, groundnuts, coos, maize, but they have no access to roads. Alhamdulillah, there are roads. Foundation stones were laid. We are praying for those roads to finish. Then we will see the other side of the country. Where are they doing? It will come here. When you don't have roads, development will not go. When you are starting development, you have to have roads. And electricity goes with development also. So I've seen a lot of roads under construction, which I applaud the government. Also to agriculture. I have seen reduction on the price of fertilizer. I commend the government for that. But if they can help to still bring it down, it will be very good. Look at last year. So many people couldn't afford fertilizer. And it brought so many failures in their crop production. So we should put that into consideration. Honorable Speaker, we just passed the labor bill today. And I think we also, when we pass it, our people need to be sensitized about these regulations or the bill. You have people working in different places, they are not comfortable. Even when you are sick, you have to go to work. And I've seen an instance where an employer will drag his employee to court with all your grounds, but you will not win the case. We thought the labor department could have helped, but to what I see, it was not the case. Our youths are in different sectors. They are working, but they are not having the freedom. When I say the freedom, even when you are not feeling well, you are afraid to get absent on that day. That thing needs to be considered. We are here for the well-being of the Gambian people. So if you are working, your job should be secured. But you don't have to go to work and then be treated anyhow. We are not going to take that. The bill that we approved today, I've gone over the bill from A to Z, from number one to the last. If you read it, it's very important. It has captured everything that has to make somebody, the employer and the employee, to be very comfortable. But now, it depends whether that will happen. That's my question. So let's make sure whatever we approve, let's make sure and monitor the implementations. Honorable Speaker, I also come with the rent. Sometimes we talk about how the rent is going in this country. But we don't have any, since I came to this assembly, there is nobody, no minister have responded about our complaints about this rent. Honorable Speaker, now as Gambians, you cannot have a house to rent here. And then let me tell you, so many of these sickness that people are having now, it is because of lack of comfortableness. What you earn at the end of the month and what they charge you for a house where you can live with your family, sometimes if you pay it, you cannot even buy a bag of rice. That's very serious. People are charging, the way Gambians are charging for a house or for an apartment for a rent is too much. We talk about liberal market or whatever, but then we should have a committee who can evaluate this house is for this apartment is for this store is for this, but not to leave it at the landlords. They can charge anyhow they can charge. And what are they paying also to the government? We should also consider that. That should be put into consideration. But now, this is why all of the beautiful houses are occupied by foreigners, because Gambians cannot afford it. This is serious. We have to change our attitude if we want to develop this country. But you don't want me to be doing good or to have a good name. If I'm doing good, if I'm digging a hole, you are burying the hole. When are we going to have all those holes to be digged? Others are digging, others are burying. Look at the ferry terminal. The last time I went there, I think the ticket is $35. But you give them $50, they say we don't have $5. They give you $10. You're supposed to pay $35. You give them $50, they say, I don't have $5. Because you are on the queue, you want to go, you leave the $5 with them. $5, all those who cross there. How much is that? Is that coming to government? In the individual pockets. We have to change our attitudes. That's not correct. You don't know that old woman, how he acquired that money to cross to go to Bara, or from Bara to Banjul. You tell her you don't have $5 change. Is that correct? The attitudes, we have to change our attitudes. It's all within ourselves. If we are to better, it's ourselves. If we want to live like this, I don't see us. Yeah, I've seen it. I was there for several occasions. You give $50, they give you $10, or go and look for change. When you don't want, you say, okay, just give me $10. I give you the $5. And the $35, I don't know whether it's increased or not, but it was $35. So it's not correct. Honorable Speaker, I am appealing for all of us. In the name of Allah, let's see Gambia first. Let's not see about anybody, but let's see Gambia first and work together, develop our country. The youths, we should concentrate on our youths. You have the youths now, small boys smoking. You know, you go to mile 2, you see a small boy. Why are you here? Like, ngamola so man. It's serious. You feel for that boy, that small boy, you sympathize him. But also when you look at the other end, what he did, sometimes you don't know which side are you going to sympathize. The small boy there should have go out and do something, develop to have a family tomorrow. But also he killed somebody. And now my fear is people are not afraid. Our democracy, people are challenging officers, police officers. When an officer went to arrest you, before only one officer can arrest 10 people. But now when you go, they will hit you. We shouldn't live like that. That's not democracy. Please. Honorable Speaker, I cannot take long. I'm not feeling well. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I now give the floor to the member for Jimara. Member for Lower Fulad West.
All right, thank you very much for giving me the floor. I'm in charge. Well, I join my colleagues to thank the President for addressing the nation on that fateful day. And it is clearly mentioned in his speech, this is not an activity report, and people should not really look at it as an activity report. And in most of the cases, people think that this is a report like it's an activity report. I think once we understand and read it very well, we will understand that it is not a report. Some of the concern of members would have come as a report, but this is not a report. And I thank the President. in fulfilling most of the promises that he made to the Gambian public. And on behalf of the people of Lower Fladu, I just want to tell this August gathering today, a foundation stone was laid yesterday for the first time since this country attained independence. So we're saying a big thank you. And please, to continue, I start with the office of the Vice President. In Lower Fladu, during the last year raining season, I made some, during parliamentary questioning, I asked the former Vice President regarding the plans that they have for areas like Flabantang, Njobend. Those are areas that witnessed a heavy flood last year. And then when this thing was assessed, we realized that this is a cross-border flooding because these floods are coming all the way from Casamas to those areas, and they were seriously affected. And then we look at a measure that can be done, and then we have advised them that before the beginning of this rainy season, we expect them to create a diversion. If they create diversion to other communities, it will mitigate that amount of erosion coming. But as we speak now, it was not mentioned here and nothing has been done. And we urge the office of the Vice President to look at it and then treat it as a matter of urgency. I joined, and this is a question that I have for the Ministry of Finance. The number of this Bureau de Sans and this wave that the customers going around, I want the technician to look at whether this does not have an impact on some of our financial dealings. Because if you look at now, the SEFA is growing very high to 500 and we are anticipated at 600. We should look about this thing, whether this have no negative impact. To me, at my level of understanding, I believe that this thing have, because those things are forcing Gambians to trade in the SEFA. And in our country, you cannot tell me SEFA or Dalasi. And this is what happened. Here, our trading community is Dalasi. Whatsoever, we should use the Dalasi. And I welcome members that said the issue of the Jakari Pachal, the Ministry of Agriculture, to be centered in Sapu in Lower Fladu. I'm telling you, the people of Fladu have the vast land to welcome the ministry. Let them come. Because that is the only place that they can perform well. So the land is there. We are telling the ministry, to, Your Excellency Vice President, we are telling you that we have the land to be able to host the entire Ministry of Agriculture, even with all their projects. We have the land. And Sapu could have been the best place. The land is available, some structures are available. So we are welcoming the Ministry of Agriculture in Sapu. And when they come, they are going to work. When you come to Sapu in Sierra, you work, because every civil servant will be entitled to a rice field. And I go back to the Ministry of Fisheries. Look, there are a lot of boreholes that are drilled that are not completed. And then people are crying for water. And at the same time, the ministry, they will come here and tell us. We are tired of stories that we have to tell our people. 4 to 3 good years, these boreholes are not being connected, and we make budgets over and over. That's why I think the problem of this country is not about the government, it's about the National Assembly. We are entitled to perform oversight function. We must make resolution for certain ministers to be sacked if we mean serious. But if we ourselves are failing into that, definitely everything will fail. And I want us to be very strong in Parliament. Let us be very strong and stand with strong regulations that some ministers need to be fired if they are not performing well. Motions that they need to be fired. Because, look, it's really touching that you drill borehole to a community that is suffering for water. 3 good years, they are seeing the hole and they are not hearing anything from you any longer. And then how can they accept it? This is really unacceptable, and this is what our people are facing. Boreholes are drilled, no connection. And this is also the Ministry of Interior. I want the Ministry of Interior to understand that the police in my constituency have no mobility. If they don't have mobility, how do you intend for them to catch the criminals and follow this thing? And I'm urging the ministry and even Your Excellency Vice President to try and see that the policemen in my region, they have been equipped with mobility to be able to combat criminals. And not only that, the personnel that they are sending to my region, we have limited personnel. If you post them there, they are not ready to go because they are not motivated. Like what they are doing for the teachers, we want the government of this day to do that for the police so that they can be motivated to go to my constituency and stay there and serve my people. And I've talked to the Minister of Justice personally that in the whole of CRR South, we don't have a sitting magistrate. He travels. There are a whole lot of cases that are there. And if you delay justice, you know what it means. We don't want that justice to be delayed. Let them go there and work. Let them go and work. So I'm urging the Minister of Justice to ensure that henceforth you have a sitting magistrate who sit there to do our cases. If yesterday the cases were not much, today we are telling you the cases are much and they need to be dealt with. I talked about mobility for interior. I talked about the Jakali Pachar. I still come back to agriculture. We have the solution for agriculture. We have a problem of the Jakali Pachar, and we also know our problem, and we can suggest to government the solution. I've made it here. I said, with all the project and the engineers that are sent to Jakali Pachar, they have failed the project. And then we said we want the executive to know the solution to this project. Please, we have a history that have done dividends there. That is the Chinese. They initiated that. We want the Republic of the Gambia to further their bilateral relationship with the People Republic of China to come and solve that project for us once and for all. We can feed this nation. And we will not only feed the nation, but we'll give them quality rice. This rice that you are importing in this country, do you know about this rice? You don't know whether it has starch or whatsoever, but the rice that we are cultivating in the country is of good quality and standard quality. And we have the land. All we are urging the government of this day, please, our problem is collaborate with the People Republic of China to solve that rice problem. Because we have problem of these gates. The topography of the land is poor. And we need to come up with irrigation. Because if you only depend on tidal irrigation, you are only expected to do one season. And one season cannot do. Currently, if you go there, you will see that some vast land is not being utilized. And then we have to commend the government and the Minister of Agriculture. Currently, the poor harvest laws have minimized. They have combined harvesters. They are harvesting within 20 minutes, they can almost finish 10 plots. So I think that is a big plus to this government, that the people of Lower Fladu are thanking His Excellency and his government for bringing those converse harvesters. They are doing very well, because then, before you can harvest your rice field, you compete with the bats. But today, within 5 minutes, if it enter into your field, you are done. You only need to get the empty bags to put it. I said, we really thank. And then I have to flashback. Recently, we approved a budget of 400 million for inputs. Our tractors are dead. And as members, we have a lot of years, Minister of Finance. We understand that some diversion of funds, we will put the ministry and Ministry of Agriculture and Minister of Finance accountable to ensure that this budget that we approve here for inputs should not go anywhere only on inputs. Because we are trying to introduce a project-based budgeting. And our program is to make sure that the farmers access those inputs. And it's very important, Minister of Finance and Agriculture, we want to know that budgeted amount, and we are trying to find out a report to know where is that 400 million go, because our farmers there did not have the input that we want. And also, when Ministry of Agriculture, when they go to buy inputs, they buy materials that are not definitely, because recently they bought power tillers. But when they come into the field, they cannot do much. Meaning that we know the kind of materials that we need to be able to do the job. We need the buffalo. That is what the farmers say. We need the buffalo power tiller. Those are the power tillers that can do well. But you are not from Sierra. And also, please, on behalf of this have manifested that one of my member is talking about where my colleague brother from Upper Fuladu talking about. This have shown that democracy is definitely working, for the fact that people that are not voting for the president are benefiting everything. Yes, still they say no to that. And people that are giving the president everything, but he feels that he needs to decentralize development, then I believe it is very important we understand that His Excellency President Adama Barrow is a true Democrat, and he is serving the interests of the people. But I'm telling my friend, as I am apologizing on behalf of my friend, tell your people to change. We are giving you everything. We are giving you everything. We give you road, we give you electricity, we give you everything.
Sorry, honorable member. Honorable member, sit down, please. Can you put up your mic?
That's your point of order.
Please,
is it the order? It's not order. I'm moving.
Honorable member, sit down, please. Sit down, please. Okay. Put up your mic. Please, don't use your mic if I don't give you the floor. Please, member for Parliamentary, please. The member for Latikunda.
Point of order.
Point of order. Member for Latikunda, please, go ahead.
Point of order.
The member for Latikunda.
Point of order.
I withdraw, Honorable Speaker.
Point of order.
Member for Central Body.
Yes. Honorable Speaker, point 29(1), every member shall restrict his or her observations to the subject matter under discussion. A member is going beyond the limit. The subject matter under discussion is not about that man, it's about the speech of the president.
Honorable member, the honorable member for Lower Fuladu West is talking about infrastructure, development. Please, honorable members, he is talking about development. And that is in order.
No, Honorable Speaker,
please,
that's not in order.
Honorable Speaker, is not
that's
in order.
not in order.
That
is not in order, Honorable Speaker. It's not in order.
Out of order.
Don't play with words.
No, he cannot try to
don't work on the mentality of people. That is not in order, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Speaker, Speaker's decision. It's final.
Speaker, the rule is not sustained. This is what you are telling us.
Why should he say?
Is the president infrastructure, Honorable Speaker? Is the president now infrastructure?
Honorable members, please take your seat.
29,
please take your seat, please. Honorable members, put off your mics, please. Please, honorable members, allow me to rule. Please.
Honorable Speaker.
Please, allow me, please.
He has no right to tell me to tell my
please.
If you deviate, Honorable Speaker, if you deviate from the ruling, we all know the standing order very well. If the ruling is in order, we know. If it is not in order, we know.
Honorable member Voladekunda, please put off your mic, please.
He shouldn't say that.
Yes, allow me to finish, please. Allow me to finish, please. Please allow me to do my ruling. The honorable member for Lower Fuladu West talks about development and road infrastructure. They are covered under the Ministry of Roads, Works, Construction and Infrastructure. And there were points made by a member with regards to that, and he is apologizing on behalf of that member, which he said. So please, let's allow him to proceed. And I want to...
Honorable Speaker, point of order.
Please.
Honorable Speaker.
Please.
Point of order. Honorable Speaker, point of order.
Point of order. Okay, I will come to you. I will come to all of you.
Observation.
Please.
Point of order.
Honorable members.
Honorable Speaker, point of order.
We accepted his...
Don't worry. I'll come.
Honorable Speaker.
I will come to you.
That is not acceptable.
Please.
Point of order, Honorable Speaker.
You know, I want to appeal to members. Please put off your mic, member for Sami, please.
No, what I want to say...
No, put off your mic first.
We accept his appeal.
No, wait. I'm coming. Please. No. I have not given you the floor. Please. Yeah, put up your mic, member for Oliundum. What I want to inform members is that if you want to stand on point of order or observation, I will give each and every member opportunity. Please, and you cannot sit on your constituency chair and you preside over. Please. Now, the member for Same.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. 29-4. 29-4. I was the one who quoted out. He said he's apologizing on behalf of that. He said,
You are on a point of order. Go straight.
Point of order. Point of order.
It should be out of order to use offensive language. He's using that. Let me tell my people to change. Let him withdraw that. That's
point of order, please. Point of order.
That's an offensive.
Honorable Speaker.
Please.
Honorable Speaker, point of order.
Point of order. Honorable Speaker, with due respect, that is very offensive.
Point of order.
Honorable Member for Latikunda, don't use your mic if I don't give you the floor. Please, put off your mic.
No.
Yeah, there is point of order. Let me rule on that one. No. Minority, no. No. I'll come to this. Order, please. Order. Honorable Member for Parliamentary, please. You can't direct me what to do. Please. Please, Honorable Member for... Please. No, you see, some of you are out of order by disrupting the business of the Assembly. Let me make a ruling. I've made a ruling on the point of order. Now you are on a point of order, the member for Same, that he uses what? Can I borrow your phrase again? Please. No, please. You said he uses offensive language by using the term, let your people change.
Means they are not thinking. It's offensive.
Please, honorable members.
Guys.
Honorable member for Brikama North, Central Badibu, Latikunda, and Sami, if you don't allow me to rule on his point of order, we will not be able to proceed. All right, please. That is not an offensive language. All you do.
Point of order.
Honorable Speaker. Hey.
All you do.
Welcome to my cover. Huh?
Honorable Speaker. The rule of order, the standing order has explicitly, listen to me, please. Has explicitly provided for.
Are you the Speaker?
On section 8. No, listen, Suleiman.
Tradition dictates you have to call.
Member. Point of order.
No, you have to call.
Sit down.
Member for Olyundum, please don't address them, address me.
Clause 8, subsection 3. Speaker's ruling. If you go to 3, it says, the Speaker's ruling shall be final on all questions of procedure and order. If the Speaker made a ruling, nobody has the audacity to question the Speaker's ruling. And that is final. That's what the standing order says. Unless if you are throwing the standing order out.
Point of order.
And then we have to move.
Honorable Speaker, point of order.
Honorable member for
Latikunda. Honorable member for Latikunda.
Member for Latikunda, I want to appeal that you read the standing order.
That's what I'm coming. I'm rising on point of order.
Please sit down. Please sit
and
down.
that's what I.
Okay, sit down, please.
Thank
Put
you.
off your mic. You see, if you read the standing orders, you realize that once there is a point of order, you cannot raise another point of order unless the speaker rules. And you cannot also use the mic without being granted by the speaker. Please, let's read our standing orders. Yes. All you do, your point of order sustained. Member for Lower Badibu. So,
my point of order is...
Please proceed.
Point of order. Point of order, Honorable Speaker. You can also rule point of order. When there is point of order, you need to listen.
All right, thank you.
Point of order. 26.
Point of order, Honorable Speaker. I'm rising on point of order.
Please.
I'm rising on point of order.
No, wait. I'm not giving you the
I'm
floor.
rising on point of order.
Yes, sit down, please. Yes, I'll give you. Please, sit down. Yeah, please, sit down, please. Please. Put off your mic. Honorable members.
Rising on a point of order, different point of order. Okay. I'm rising on a point of order.
All right, sit down, please. You are rising on a point of order, different point of order. No member is on the floor for you to bring him or her to order.
It only means that when members are in floor, you have to bring point of order. Point of order are
go ahead.
Address issues.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes.
20. You are ignoring me.
29(5). No member shall impute improper motives to any other member. Honorable Speaker, with all due respect, we all know that we live in a parliament whereby we need to promote people to express their feelings. You cannot tell a member that your people need to change to vote for the president. It's putting improper motive into them. He's wrong. He should withdraw that statement. This is not okay. You cannot tell those people that these people need to change.
Can I
have a campaign.
Point of order, Honorable Speaker.
No, don't use your mic.
Point of order, Honorable Speaker.
Don't use your mic. Let me rule on his point of order. Honorable member for Central Badibu, your point of order is that he puts improper motive on members. That is the order you read. Yes, and he said, tell your people to change. I have not. Wait, please.
That is exactly what is
order. That's what he means. Order. Sammy, I'm switching off your mic. Please allow me to rule. Let's maintain decorum. Let's maintain decorum. I was listening, and I have not heard him say, let them vote for.
Honorable Speaker, point of order.
You have to withdraw your.
I will put it.
The member didn't make the.
Point of.
I will allow honorable members to disrupt. When you are done, we proceed. We'll continue.
Point of order. No, point of order, Honorable.
I'm switching off your mic.
Observation.
Let me rule. Allow me to rule on this point of order. The member for Lower Fulod is not putting improper motive on members. The member for Brikama North, you said you have a point of order.
It's exactly on the same 29(5). If you rule that is not
point of order,
imputed improper motive.
Honorable Speaker, last.
Huh?
Offensive.
You see, please, what he said was he's imputing improper motive on members, on the member. And you said by saying his people to change.
Yeah, change for
please,
what?
Please. I've made my ruling. Now I'll give the floor to the member for law to proceed.
No. My point of order, Honorable Speaker. I am on point of order. Point of order, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable member for law to proceed.
Thank you very much.
All right, sit down. There is point of order.
Members.
Members.
Point of order, please.
Order. Take your seat, please. Different from the,
yes. My point of order is 26. Speaking in debate. 26.4. The Speaker shall not take part in any debate before the National Assembly. And Honorable Speaker, you are seen visibly and actively participating in debate. You should not. Thank you very much.
Majority leader, no, please.
No, I'm raising the point of order.
No, please.
I'm raising the point of order.
There is an order. Let me rule first. There is a point of order. Honorable member, there cannot be a member who is out of order more than yourself. You are out of order. Member for Kantora.
That you are ruling. You are participating in the debate.
Honorable member, please.
Of course, because and so.
Order, Honorable Speaker, point of order. Point of order, Honorable.
Honorable member for Latikunda, you are disrupting this assembly. Put off your mic, please. Honorable member for Latikunda, please. Please. Yeah, I accept and I love you for that. Majority leader, member for Kantora.
It's just about interruption. Order 32. It's duty of Parliament to maintain decorum on debates. And the way, okay. Honorable Speaker, no member shall, except Speaker, shall interrupt a member. Reference to clause 32. When someone is making a statement, you're not allowed to interrupt the person, unless the Speaker. So please allow the man to continue his debate. No.
Point of order sustained. Members, please refrain from disrupting this business of the assembly. The member for Lower Fuladu.
Thank you very much for giving me to come back. But please, member for Sami, you are misquoting me. I am saying. No, wait.
Honorable member for Lower Fuladu, take your seat. Honorable member for Lower Fuladu. Honorable member for Lower Fuladu. The member for Lower Fuladu, you put off your mic and take your seat. I have ruled on the member for Lower Fuladu. I have ruled on that matter. Please proceed.
Thank you very much. Member for Kiang, you were not here. On behalf of my brother, Upper Fuladu, I'm saying sorry because you complain and he's my brother.
No. Speaker.
Well,
please. No, you cannot.
Don't instruct.
Point of order, Honorable Speaker. Point of order.
Nominated member Kebalang Fofana.
Honorable Speaker.
Nominated member Kebalang Fofana, please go ahead.
Honorable Speaker, I'm rising on order 17A. It reads, behavior of members. During a sitting, all members shall enter and leave the chambers with decorum. This is a parliament. And sometimes one is just left to ask, are we really at the parliament? I'm sorry, with due respect to all honorable members. But there are ways in which we can really channel whatever grievances we have, rather than shouting at each other as if we are at what? Elementary school. I'm sorry for my language. but this is the least expected. The standing orders are here to guide us. Even if the Speaker makes ruling, if you do not find it pleasant or you find it biased, there are processes and procedures to follow. But we said let's close by 8. It's almost 8 and we are not moving. So I'm appealing, Honorable Speaker, make a ruling so that we follow the standing orders and allow the deliberations to continue. Thank you.
Thank you, nominated member Kebalang Fofana. Order sustained. And I appeal on members to maintain decorum and to allow other members to proceed. And the member follower Flodu, I told you I made a ruling on this matter. Then you take the floor. Please proceed on your contribution. What? All right, please go ahead. Nominated member Faruque Jawara.
Honorable Speaker, it seems that there is 2 speakers in this House of Assembly. We were disturbed by side issues from member for Woolley East. Anytime you make a ruling, he will make something out of it. No, you are disturbing us. Please, can you relocate him to another place? No, I will not stop it. You are disturbing.
Order.
Honorable members, please ignore those 2. They are good neighbors. They are good neighbors. Please, let's proceed. Member follower Fuladu, proceed. And don't go back to this point. Member follower Fuladu, proceed.
All right, thank you very much. Now I just want to talk about petroleum and energy. The rural Gambia, if you look at since independence, most of us have been disadvantaged with electricity. But thanks that we realize some part of CRR North are starting benefiting this electricity project. And we also urge the minister to fast track, because there were some communities that were mentioned that they will have electricity. But we have not seen any sign. And this is 2 years now. And then in the speech, we could not hear information regarding our fate to that part. And we really need electricity. Because even during Ramadan, we suffer. This ice block in Lower Flood, we buy it for $50. So I think there is high need for the Minister of Energy to fast track, because already communities were identified, they made surveys, people were happy. But it's coming to 3 years now, we did not have. And we are urging the ministry to look at it. Yes, finally, it's about information. The president talked about all the development that happened in the Ministry of Information. But I want to add, as a nation, we have realized that, I expect him to say, there are radio stations that would have changed to a political party. Because the kind of information they are giving is not information that is credible. That is not that information that we want. And I feel those are issues that we need to address. We need to address that. If you want to register a political party, there is a free ground for you, but you cannot use radio stations as a, or if not, we are talking of 19, I'm saying that we have 22. You have online TVs whatsoever. We need to look at the information sector. And we should not be joking about information. Because the kind of information coming out, they need to be treated well. And the laws that should guard this area, we need to look at it very well. Because there is radio station that every day, every hour. Look, the information should be very progressive. And it should be realistic. You threaten people to come to your country, well, because you are not in line with one person. That is not good. And that is the kind of information that is happening. And I'm urging the executive, let's revisit the laws in the media. You cannot just get up and talk whatsoever. There are histories that most of these wars emanate from information, falsified information. We will not sit down in this country to see that. We will make sure that they will be addressed to the latter. So whosoever want to use your radio station as a political party, please go and register it with IEC, but it will never be condoned. And then finally, the closing remark, let's unite as a country. When we unite as a country, we will foster development. And then that's what the president have urged all Gambians. And this should be cross-cutting. Let's be united. Once we are united, we are very strong. But for the fact that we are not united, politically we are divided, it has affected this nation seriously. Even you are supposed to push, because you are in political difference, you don't want to push. And when will that be pushed? And that's what we need to stop if we want to develop. And I finally said, for NAMS, let's do our oversight functions. We are solution to all problems, and if there are problems, then we are the bigger problem. On that note, I thank all of you.
Thank you very much, member for Law Follow the West. I now give the floor to the member for Fonyi Bintang Karanai.
Thank you so very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the floor. Honorable Speaker, it is worrisome. Whom are we talking to? At this very moment, I want to use this opportunity to thank the Vice President. And special thanks goes to the Minister of Finance. Because out of 21 ministers in the country, we have only 2 ministers. But as of present, we have only 1 minister. The other minister went for prayers. So we are raising questions to the ministries. And now, these have, in fact, informed me the reason as to why some of the ministers could not get their allocation, budget allocation. This really informed me. As of the sooner addressed by the President, the concern of the President is there for national development. But some of these ministers will not even show the commitment that we are in charge of public office. The members are here raising concern, and the ministers are not here. And the standing orders are clear. Questions to the Vice President, ministers, and the Assembly Authority. 1, clearly state, the Vice President and ministers shall, by order of the Assembly, be requested to attend sittings of the National Assembly to answer oral questions.
Honorable member.
Topical questions and urgent or...
Honorable member,
yes.
Which document are you reading and what's...
I am reading Order 36. Order 36, 1. It says, the Vice President and ministers shall, by order of the Assembly, be requested to attend sittings of the National Assembly to answer oral questions, topical questions, and urgent oral questions asked of them. Now, we are out of the 21 ministers that we have in the country. Only 2 ministers are here. The other one is the Minister of Finance, who is in fact not responsible for carrying out the physical work that is needed for the nation. So now, for the fact that we are here looking at the sooner address by the President, it is of no importance. But I am happy that the Honorable Speaker, we are able to raise this concern initially addressing through the Vice President. Your Excellency, welcome to the struggle, and the struggle has just begun. Going back to the sooner address.
Order. Honorable, there is point of order by the member for Central Badibu.
Thank you. Honorable Speaker, Order 25, attendance of the Vice President and ministers. As prescribed by the Constitution, the Vice President or a minister shall. If ministers are not here, if Vice President is present here, then the business can go. What I'm saying is, I'm talking to a member of Fonyi Bintang. That is, if ministers are not here, but as long as we have the Vice President here, the business can go ahead. This is what I'm saying.
Yes. Yes. The member for Central Badibu is right. What the member for Fonyi Bintang, and that's the office of the Speaker instructed the office of the table office to write to His Excellency the Vice President, inform him of his attendance to business of the House today and tomorrow, and as well as inviting all honorable ministers to be here, take note, and respond to issues of concern to members of the National Assembly. That's along the way. But proceed, honorable member.
Point of order, Honorable Speaker.
Nominated member Kebalang Fofana on a point of order.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I'm rising on 25-1. Let's
What, Honorable Member, please?
25.1. Order 25.1. Let's have clarity. And I'll read. It says attendance of the Vice President and ministers. 1. As prescribed by the Constitution, the Vice President or a minister shall report on any matter concerning a department or business of government committed to his or her charge. So to say if a minister is present or the Vice President, that should suffice for the entire government. I think if we go by that notion, I'm not sure whether we will be doing justice to what the standing order is saying. Kindly revisit your judgment, Honorable Speaker. Thank you.
Order 25-2 by nominated member Kebalang Fofana sustained is also relevant. Please.
No, this debate will continue. No. Honorable Speaker, thank you very much. Honorable Speaker, the Vice President is representing the President here. The speech has been done by the President. Now the President is not within our midst. The Vice President is dedicated to come and represent the President. I am saying, if ministers are not available, the business of the Assembly can still continue because the Vice President is representing the President and we are discussing about this one. So nobody can dispute that.
Thank you, Member for Central Baribu. And in fact, that's why I said your order sustained. But his point of order also, yes, that's what I said.
Honorable Speaker, which one do you take now?
That is funny. No, please. You see, the member for Central Baribu made a valid point. 70, in fact, it's a constitutional provision, which I said sustained. When I gave the order to follow, on the nominated member Kebalang Fofana wanted to elucidate, to indicate that also 25-2, which more or less similarly, indicating that...
No, he didn't read 2, he read 1.
He read 1. They are the same, okay. They are similar, yes. Member for Fonyi Bintang, please proceed.
Thank you so very much, Honorable Speaker. Central Badibu, we should stand in a better position not to be begging a relationship from the ministers. In defense of the nation, it's the national interest that should come first before anything. Thank you. Okay, Honorable Speaker. On the Sona address,
Honorable Speaker.
President, the Finance and Economic Affairs, the President.
I have a point. Point of order.
There is point of order. Honorable Member for Central Badibu is raising on a point of order.
Yes.
Can you please tell us?
Honorable 29, the content of speeches. Yes. No member shall try to input improper motives. What I'm saying, you cannot say, Honorable Member of Central, but we are not here to beg ministers. I'm not begging. He said, we are not here to beg any minister. I'm not here to beg any minister. What I'm putting to him, how many chairs? Look at the chairs. How many of our members are here? So if you want to make it mandatory for ministers to be here, that's why I'm putting to you, whether ministers are here or not, the business can still go, the Vice President is here. But I'm not begging or I'm not speaking for any minister.
Honorable Member for Fonyi Bintang, the member for Central Badibu have not begged any minister. He made a point of order and I ruled that his point of order was valid and sustained. So you should please proceed.
Thank you so very much, Honorable Speaker.
Please,
Finance and Economic
I have a point of order.
Please, there is a point of order from the member for...
Please.
From the member
on
for...
a more serious
Cantora.
note. Yes, on a more serious note, I'm rising on order 17F. It reads, while a member is speaking, all members shall be silent and shall not make unseemly interruption. Please, and please again, let's allow them not to proceed without making unseemly interruption. Thank you.
Sustain. Please. Fonyi Bintang, please.
Thank you so very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, looking at the sooner address by the President, Finance and Economic Affairs. The Gambia rely heavily on imports for the consumption of basic commodities, including wheat and maize from Ukraine. Rely heavily on imports I think that's where the focus should be. Why the import? Why are we importing? That is the thinking. That is where everything should start as a nation. Whatever we are looking at is how to minimize this importation of consumption of food that we are to consume. Because if we continue to import food, in it, we will not have the good health for the nation that we are yearning for. We saw people dying at tender age. We don't know the reason as to why. Probably it's because of the imported food that we are consuming. We have the fertile land. We have the water. We have everything it takes. But what is the Ministry of Agriculture actually doing? That is where the thinking should start. And as a president, if we show commitment, then should be followed by the ministers. I told the president earlier on that other ministers deserve to be sacked. Because if they are not working on national interest, looking at the end of December 2022, inflation stood at 13.7%. That is because whatever we are consuming is imported to this country. According to the President's Suna address, this is a worrisome situation for a developing nation. We can work out of this. I have the conviction and I have the belief. Only if we are committed. Only if we have the committed ministers. We have the committed members of National Assembly. We have a united force on a common goal to achieve whatever we want as a nation. There is no impossibility to this. But it is so sad to talk about these realities in a nation where people don't even want to understand at one point in time. It says to the Ministry of Agriculture to provide example of such undertaking, a national fertilizer policy has been formulated and validated, and the development of a strategic plan is at an advanced stage. So when the government talk about an advanced stage, I don't know what an advanced stage is. You need to break it down. An advanced stage is an advanced stage, continues until after 5 years, still at an advanced stage. I am wondering, and we are in the land of wondering, and we still continue to wonder whether what is said we will be able to achieve it or not. The Suna address was well calculated and properly put in place, but then how will we achieve it as a nation? Looking about the creation of 150,000 jobs, how will we achieve it? As of now, 1 year passed, or 1.5 years passed, or 2 years passed. What did we achieve? How many jobs were we able to create? Is it that we are able to create 25,000 jobs? If we are able to create 25 or 35,000 jobs, then we are on track. But in the event we are unable to create that, then we are off track as a nation. Let's move further to the Ministry of Defense. According to the President's Suna address, page 16 of 57, 7 actually, the number I read. Following the unfortunate resurgence of conflict in Casamas between the MFDC and the Senegalese armed forces, the Gambia Armed Forces monitors the affected areas in Fonyi to guarantee the safety of all Gambian citizens. In this regard, they conducted robust patrols in the area. We thank them for their vigilance and devout service to the nation. That is where the point comes. Now, the Senegalese forces that are stationed here are the people that started all this, what we are coming to talk about. And now, our people were shot to death. No minister ever visited those areas. No minister. And no minister took the commitment upon himself to go and attend the burial. The cells landed in our compounds in Fonyi. The cells landed on top of the story building, on top of the buildings in Fonyi. So we've seen all those realities, and the government don't care about it, to be honest with you. I am not saying this because I want to instigate anything or whatsoever, but I am saying it as it is. At least when the Senegalese soldiers were killed in that area, the president came out and gave a press release and at least saw a sign of remorse. But when our own Gambians were killed, no sign of remorse was shown. It is so sad as a nation. When you talk about unity as a leader, leadership is about having the clear visions, the aim and the objective to develop a nation. Leadership is about seeing what others did not see. Leadership is about understanding what others did not understand. But the end result will tell us what it is. Coming back to the Minister of Basic and Secondary Education, how I wish the minister was here. We are talking about performance. We are not talking about the number of classrooms that you construct. We are talking about performance. Performance is very important in all the sectors. And how can you get that performance done? It is where the thinking comes to play. It is motivating the teachers. It is encouraging the teachers. It is creating other incentiveness for teachers so that they can be there and teach to perfection. But not the number of classrooms you build. Not going around or observation whatsoever. No. It is how you are able to motivate and encourage the people that are playing the game, the teachers that are there and the students. Let's move further to the justice system of the country. Page 28 of 57. Number 8. As reported during the last year legal year celebration, the judiciary is doing very well and has regained public confidence. Said who? Said who? When we have people in remand for 10 years, when we have people in remand for 7 years, when we have people in remand for 5 years, said who? I think whatever is to be said to the parliament needs to be clear to all. The public have no confidence at all, as I speak to you here, in the judiciary sector. Hard to say, but this reality we must say. Whether the public understands it or not, but it must be said. Whether those in office want it or not, it must be said. The Vice President, you can explain to us which public confidence did the people have from the judiciary sector. This one, we want an explanation from it. And the Minister of Justice, happily you are here. Please take note. To the environment, welcome, thank you. Settle, welcome back. Settle, welcome back. You change the governance system to better a nation, but you don't change to worsen the situation. We were a clean nation, going towards the right direction, like any other country. You came in 2016 and removed everything. Whatever was good was bad. And today, thank you, the government has started to think, and they are thinking in the right direction, that Settle is good for a nation. A dirty nation is a sick nation. Welcome back, Settle, at long last. And how I wish the government have the vision to see whatever they have let go of good. Like they did sold the tractors and bought the donkeys. I think we should start. I thank you so very much, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you very much. This is a good time. This is a good time where we're going to draw the curtain here until tomorrow. Honorable members, I want to thank all of you for participating in the debate and listening. And I want to thank His Excellency, the Vice President, for standing in for His Excellency, the President, and those honorable ministers who join him. And Your Excellency, Mr. Vice President, please tomorrow ensure the attendance of all cabinet ministers and their technicians so that they can also assist you when you are in responding to issues raised as they affect their departments or portfolios. Let me now put the question. Be it resolved that this August Assembly do stand adjourned until Tuesday, 13 June 2023. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it. The Assembly now stand adjourned until Tuesday, 13 June 2023 at 10 a.m. prompt.